let's get into it. Whoop, whoop. There it is. Oh, man. What's going on, everybody? Congratulations. Another week, ladies and gentlemen. You got through the last one. You're going to get through this one. It's just starting, but don't worry. Day after day gets closer to the weekend. Weekend's only 45 minutes. We start another week. More work than relaxation, but that's how they like it. That's how they like it. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and things are being very weird here. I know you guys like I was late. By a minute. I was like getting disconnected and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think we're okay. But we have a whole bunch to go through. We're going to talk about Candace. We're going to talk about Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, or lack thereof over time. We're definitely going to talk about Ian Carroll, his comeback. Going to be showing you some of that. And then Tucker Carlson, getting into a whole bunch of different things with this New York Times reporter, interviewer. Not even sure what her name is because I was focused on Tucker the whole time. Then we're going to get into Barron's episode last night was wild. And then we're going to get into Officer Tatum's friend. So many of you tagged me in this guy's story. So many of you did. And of course, I was happy you did. Thank you so much. You have no idea. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. That's a very odd story. And then we'll get into Zesty Blake and Andrew a little bit. We'll get into Zesty Blake. Blake, very zesty. Didn't realize how zesty this guy was. Then we'll get into Sean Ryan sitting down with Chank, a.k.a. Chunk Yogurt, as he's referred to. Chunk Yogurt of the Young Turks, as he's referred to. So let's just start it right off at the beginning, at the stage. Boom. This is Buy Me a Coffee. So many tabs, I can't even get to it. buymeacoffee.com/Coach Colin. You can check that out. We'll be reading those as well as super chats at the end of the episode. As we get into the end of the episode, announcement for the channel, Sabby Sabs, when? Monday, we will have Sabby on the channel. Friday, we may have a pretty big guest on the channel. But we're just working away at that. So I'll let you know. But Sabby's she is a lock. She has agreed. We're going to be in there. So get your questions in. Please get your questions in for her. Get them in via coffees. The members, you can just, put your questions out into this and I will see them and we will collect all the questions and ask her as much as possible. Also, just to let you guys know, there is a Clips channel. Clips channel is often popping. There's 600 videos on the Clips channel, 35,000 subscribers, and a whole mess of videos, ladies and gentlemen, a whole mess of them. A whole mess. For those of you that are watching right now and you're like, how long is this guy going to talk? Well, you can get into the short form stuff 1,000,000%. You can get into that short form stuff when you go to the Clips channel, link in the description. Let's jump into the first thing, man. And this is it's kind of sweet. I gotta be honest. I don't know if it's sweet, but it was expected. That's for sure. Somebody asked the question, did Candace Owens take down the Daily Wire? Let's move that up a little bit. Candace Owens take down the Daily Wire. And you might ask yourself, why is this person asking that? Well, as you guys know, I reported on it months ago. Many people did, talking about Ben Shapiro's YouTube channel bleeding over 100,000 subscribers since late 2025. We're not talking about all of 2025. We're talking about late 2025. This guy was just hemorrhaging subscribers, hemorrhaging views. Nobody's showing up for his stuff. He's getting to the point where he has to do targeted ads on this show, on Barron's. I've seen it on Barron's show. He's coming to us to hopefully catch some audience. He keeps saying, Matt Walsh, get back to work, Matt Walsh, get back to work. But in reality, it's get back to work, Ben Shapiro. Get back to work. You know what I mean? That's what's going on. Now, really quick, I just saw somebody say, now, people have to understand. Now, he's losing subscribers. He's losing more audience than subscribers, right? I should explain the way that works. So he's losing audience. People just aren't watching. So he has the 7 million, but the 7 million subscribers that he has on YouTube, they're just not watching. The people who used to have Daily Wire subscriptions, they're just not renewing. So that's what's happening. So people are still subscribed to him. I'm still subscribed to Ben Shapiro, but nobody's watching anymore. Nobody's clicking when they see his videos. That's the problem. So you could have a whole bunch of subscribers and then not have the audience to really back it up. You go look at his videos. It's just that's the case, you know. Work harder, Ben Shapiro. Work harder. Now, what's that led to? What that has led to, the hemorrhaging has led to Daily Wire laying off 60%. Some people, it's 50 to 60% of all of their staff have been let go. This happened out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. People were coming into the office. They saw the eyebrows thick. They were like, with eyebrows like this, there's no way we're getting let go. There's no chance. But little did they know that most of them were getting let off. I mean, this is worse than Turning Point. Turning Point was getting rid of people because they're trying to figure out who the leak is. They're getting rid of all these people. Mikey McCoy's in the corner like, oh, God. Oh, Aubrey? They got rid of Aubrey? Oh, no. Huh? They're trying to figure out who it is. It's Mikey McCoy the whole time, as we all know. It's Mikey McCoy the whole time. They let go of a bunch of people, hundreds. Candace Owens chimes in. Of course. Who else is going to chime in? Candace Owens. Daily Wire fired almost all of their employees today. I'm sure Ben Shapiro will offer a kind public message today, addressing all the sudden layoffs and thanking those employees for their hard work and dedication over the years. Just kidding, guys. It's Ben Shapiro. So what Ben Shapiro actually had to say that day of the mass layoffs was this.
Honestly, if you are an audience member of Candace who foments this sort of evil, because she makes money off of you. The way she makes money is by spewing trash into the public sphere, and then she makes money off it through advertising. You know, that's how she does it. So if she's monetizing your gullibility, then you are complicit in this nonsense. Honestly.
And then it was said that directly after he said that, he said, and just in case you guys don't know, this gold company, gold is going up in price. Just type in Ben loves gold / Norton Gold, you know, talking about people monetizing off of like what? He's literally, listen, I don't like Ben Shapiro. He's literally the best at throwing to an advertisement. He's the best. He weaves it in just seamlessly every single time. He's doing the exact same thing that Candace does, the exact same thing that she does. And for some reason, it's like this huge, if you're a part of her audience, you know, she advertises and she makes money from that. So she's making money off of you. What? Yeah, it's not our first day on the internet, Ben. We all understand how it goes. We understand. They start reading about a company and they make money. We actually understand completely. Those ads that are popping up for people aren't popping up for fun. We all understand, Ben. Someone said, count it all joy, people. Count it all joy. In the wise words of Erik Kirk, count it all joy. Count it all joy. But that's what Ben Shapiro had to say. Looking very chipper that day. Looking very, very chipper as he usually does. This is the thing. I mean, I've seen them try to do this before. try to make him more likable, where he jokes around and stuff. And it works at times. I've seen it like kind of work, but at the end of the day, like, this is what's really going on inside this guy, So of course, slowly people are going to be like, I don't want to watch this guy anymore. It was one thing, because let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says. When Ben Shapiro first hit the scene, you couldn't tell me that this guy wasn't America first. You couldn't tell me he wasn't America first. I don't care what size his hat is. I don't care. Everybody was like, Ben Shapiro. Wow. Does he smile? Exactly. He never smiles. I've never seen it, really. Just saying. Someone said, count it all goy. Oh, come on. Oh, that was perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect joke. He's changed one letter in the sentence, and you changed the whole thing. That's a perfect joke. Anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah, so that is Dory. Candace's husband is rich AF. Yeah, I mean, he is. As far as we know. Seems like it. Sounds like it. I'd be surprised if a guy sounded like that. If a guy walks up to me and he's like, hello, how are you? And his last name's Farmer. Hello, how are you? George Farmer. Good to meet you. I'd be like, this guy's family hasn't farmed in hundreds of years. Someone goes, he's a lord, Oh, okay. That makes it you're a lord. Okay. Farmer. I get it. It's cool. But yeah, I've seen them try to make Ben Shapiro likable. It's too hard. He's not in a likable mode. He used to seem like he was America first. And I've said it 100 times. In the words of Joe Rogan, no matter what you think of him, in the words of Joe Rogan said, in a podcast, you can BS somebody for 1 hour. You can BS somebody for maybe even 2 hours. But once you get to that third hour, the real them starts to come out. And if you take that in regards to a career, Ben Shapiro's in his third hour. That's where he's at. He's in his third hour of this large podcast of a career, and everybody's starting to see the actual him. They're starting to realize that the talking points are not his talking points. And he may feel that way. I don't know 100%. But, I mean, it's just, someone said he's as attractive as Ebola. I mean, come on, guys. Don't. Look, don't make me put that on the screen. Don't make me do that. Come on, stop. Don't make me put that on the screen. Candace Owens says, very good read. I would only add the Daily Wire also suffered in the end from a Ben Shapiro problem. Any plan to save the company would have had to include him stepping away as a public face of it. That's just the reality. His brand has become toxic to growth. I would agree with that. I really would agree with that. I mean, I don't see, and I said the same thing with Turning Point. Why don't you just get a young guy who's just cool? He's dressed like a youth pastor. He has Jordans on, his hat sideways. Just get a guy who's cool. And he's just fun seeming. Just get that guy. Even if he had the same talking points, at least try. He's like, you're just going to keep Ben Shapiro on. Like, just have him step away, have him step back, have him start doing speeches across the country, and then have somebody else step in as the main face. That would be perfect. I don't know. I don't get why people don't do that. It's really weird to me. Really, really weird to me, man. It's such an easy thing to do. Here's another guy. Hey, guy, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars. Do a podcast. That's it. Get Cam Higbee. He's absolutely insufferable, but I mean, not more than Ben Shapiro. This is what she was talking about. This is a bit much. We'll read most of this. That's what I'll say. Okay. Akash Gupta. We'll read most of what you have to say. The Daily Wire is a case study of why personality-driven media companies don't compound. Peak in the late 2023. Ben's YouTube channel alone pulled 170 million monthly views. Daily Wire Plus subscriptions, a Nashville studio operation, Bent Key Kids streaming. I never heard of that. An e-commerce arm with razors and chocolates and cigars. The company was running a $1 billion conservative Disney bet. I thought that was a bad move too. To get into movies, you don't really need to do that. I mean, Matt Walsh's stuff is amazing. No matter what you think about Walsh, his movies are great. But but other than that, I mean, I think that was dumb. Cigars and stuff, and not necessary. Then they made the studio bet bigger. Pendragon Cycle, nerd. An authorin fantasy series of the kind that has bankrupted larger production houses. Bent Key trying to compete with Disney for kids' attention. Daily Wire Plus chasing Netflix. Running a newsroom, a film studio, a children's streaming platform. I did not know that they had all this. A private label consumers business simultaneously requires either limitless capital or extraordinary discipline. I bet they thought BB was going to pay for everything. Some of it worked. Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? That was a great one. Was the top grossing documentary of 2024. Most of it didn't. In March 2024, they parted ways with Candace Owens. She walked into the open market and built a show that competes with theirs. Today, she has 5.5 million YouTube subscribers and added 10.9 followers across platforms since January 2025, generating roughly 805 million views in that window. Jeez. Daily Wire converted its biggest distribution asset into its largest competitor. True, very true. They're talking about Candace there, if you don't know. Early 2025, the co-founder Jeremy steps down as co-CEO, launched a solo podcast outside of the company he founded. Bent Key was shuttered the same year. Entire team cut. Wow, I did not know that. So they've been cutting people for a while. Then it's audience. Then the audience math hit Shapiro himself. 170 monthly YouTube views in late 2023 to roughly 22 million in early 2026. An 85% collapse in 18 months. Another 60,000 subscribers gone in the last 90 days alone. Layoffhedge.com. Never heard of that site before. Estimates a cumulative workforce reduction above 60% over the past year. Tucker Carlson left Fox in 2023, kept his audience, runs his shop with a fraction of the headcount. Megyn Kelly's network drew 138 million YouTube views in February alone. The personalities figured out they don't need the platform. The platform discovered the opposite. The Daily Wire I wasn't going to read all this, but this is actually pretty good. I love this. Daily Wire built a $1 billion evaluation on names that can walk, take the audience with them, and run competing shows from a laptop the next morning. 170 million views to 22 million. The company kept the overhead. The audience left with the people. Damn, that is something. That is something else. Wow. Your opening statement, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that is nuts. That alone, just taking those names, they're not all connected to Daily Wire, but Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson. You take those three names while Daily Wire's doing their thing. You take away those three names while Daily Wire's doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, it seems like the Daily Wire can survive because it's the only thing going. And I think that's a big thing that they didn't realize. I think they didn't realize that they were the only ones doing this for a while. And that's why they were achieving the success. But then as the other names stepped in, they should have adjusted. And Brett Cooper. Yeah, this thing doesn't mention Brett Cooper, but that was a big one as well. People, because Brett took a while to start her own show back again, but people were upset with the Daily Wire. People were kind of up in the air with Candace Owens. There's a lot of people who were like, we're going to follow her. Where is she? You know, she already had a solo YouTube channel that had like, I think 1 million or 2 million subscribers. She already had it all like kind of laid out, almost like she knew that could happen one day. But Brett Cooper, when Brett Cooper got fired, people were pissed because they replaced Brett Cooper with her friend. And Candace Owens was active, so Candace Owens could talk about it on her show and what they had done. Otherwise, nobody would really know. They saw the show and they were like, this is crazy. And just based on that move of getting rid of Brett Cooper and replacing her with her friend, they lost more subscribers. Then they waited for Brett Cooper and they walked over to where Cooper was. Man. Oh man, a lesson to be learned. All this stuff, and again, Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. There's so many podcasts that have this crazy amount of overhead. They have this wild 30 people running around. Tom Segura was infamously like that. And it was hard for them to make money. They're doing good, but they could be doing better if they didn't have all these people. They'll have like 30 people running around. Joe Rogan infamously has Jamie, he has an editor, and he has a guy that calls the people. It's 4 people, including him. That's it. And obviously, a 20-person detail of security, all of them ex-military. Okay. You can count that as staff. They're all in the studio all the time. It's crazy. They're all just working out. They're all just getting jacked and just waiting for somebody to come and try and do something to Joe Rogan. It's wild. I've heard. I've not been on the show. Not yet. But yeah, that's what happened to Daily Wire. Don't agree with everything Owen has to say, but he did say this. I remember 8 years ago, most people I know listened to Ben Shapiro. Now no one does. I don't know a single person who listens. Why did you stop listening to Ben Shapiro? It's interesting, man. He's so right. Like I said, people used to love Ben. Ben would talk about Marxism and all of this stuff, and people loved it. People were like, this guy's incredible. And the way he would shut people down, still, like Crowder was already doing Change My Mind. He was already doing that. So we knew about those conversations, but the way Ben was shutting people down in these schools was wild. And then he said the infamous facts don't care about your feelings. I mean, it was a run. He had a run going. But sometimes you forget the thing that actually like got you to the place you're at. It seems like he forgot that. He forgot like being in front of the students, like that was the thing, and he just kind of collapsed back into just doing a podcast, and that was it. I think he should have kept on doing that, honestly. Again, do I think it'd be working today? Maybe not, but he would be one of the only people doing it still. You're not seeing that happening too much. But for years, him having to compete with Charlie Kirk would have been really tough because Charlie was out there killing it. Charlie was doing an incredible job. So do you want to go toe-to-toe with Charlie Kirk? Especially when your toes are about a size 4 and Charlie's toes are about a size 16. I don't know if you want to go that route. Those are some big toes to go after. So, Ben Shapiro, notoriously small. I don't know if you know that. Anyway, let's keep going here. Who we got here? Is this Ryan? This is Ryan. Just real quick. There's a little bit of overlap. I'm not going to play too much of this.
Ben Shapiro single-handedly bankrupted the Daily Wire, one of the largest and most powerful media outlets, and probably one of the most respected media outlets in America, that was all built around being a propaganda machine for a foreign nation, for the foreign state of Israel. So Ben Shapiro has destroyed this. And this is exactly what I want to play this clip, and I'm going to give you a breakdown from Nick Fuentes. It's going to blow your mind. Check this out.
Honestly, if you are an audience member of Candace who foments this sort of evil, because she makes money off of you. The way she makes money is by spewing trash into the public sphere, and then she makes money off it through advertising. That's how she does it. So if she's monetizing your gullibility, then you are complicit in this nonsense.
I mean, just so unlikable, just the most unlikable person. He looks at you like this. And you're supposed to like this. You're supposed to be happy that this is going on. This is terrible. Terrible move. I don't know. They're all slowly just exposing themselves, collapsing. I don't know what's going to happen to the Daily Wire. I feel like they're going to get some kind of cash infusion. I feel like they just had to scale back their employees, and soon we will see that they're just going to keep on going. Yeah, I think. Anyway, let's keep going here. I didn't want to play the whole thing. What he does play, he talks about Nick F. Right? You guys know Nick F. Fuentes N. You guys know that name, right? It's hard. He's hard to talk about on here, but he does actually talk about the fact that he does contribute what's happening to Candace. Many people are, because not only did Candace leave, she could have left like Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper left pretty quietly. She didn't do a podcast and been like, this is what these people did to me. She didn't do all that. Candace left as loud as possible, and she was just flipping tables and pushing over computers the whole way out. She was just pushing things over, just pulling down veils and just leaving, slammed the door, glass broke as she slammed it. And then she started her own podcast, and she was like, let's talk about what just happened. It was crazy. So most people are attributing it because Candace had the biggest role, I think, in revealing what the Daily Wire really was. I think she had the biggest role. I don't know. So Nick, actually, he's at war with Candace. He's been at war with Candace for a while. But even this, you guys know what Ben Shapiro is, right? Philadelphian. Well, you know how Nick feels about Philadelphians. So of course he's going to side with Candace. But he's saying, basically, he's like, I could put away, I can put aside what we have, the beef that they have with one another for what she's done. And he says what she's done is actually epic. This whole thing has happened just because of her and what she's decided to do when it comes to the Daily Wire, not staying silent, even in the face of lawsuits, even in the face of the slander, even in the face of her old social media accounts getting activated and used against her. In the face of all of that, she still is like, I don't care. We're going to talk about Ben. Then talks about Ben and what Ben did with that other company. He tried to take over Turning Point, Breitbart. She talks about that whole thing. Then Steve Bannon was inspired to talk about that whole thing. Steve Bannon talks about it while he's on stage at Amfest. Talks about that same thing after Ben Shapiro's on stage. He talks about how Ben tries to take over companies, calls him somewhat of a parasite, says that he's going to do the same thing to Turning Point, says it on stage at a Turning Point event. This is inspired by Candace. It's nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, let's jump in here. A little more with Ben Shapiro. This is the same clip, basically. Even Pearl Davis steps in, even. You guys probably don't even know who Pearl Davis is. Let's keep going here just a little bit. And it's just like takes like this. It's takes like this that just rub people the wrong way, right? This is Ben sitting down with this guy, right? He talks about America, what kind of ally America is to Philadelphia.
Would you describe the U.S. as a good ally right now?
I think that the U.S. has always been a bit of an unreliable ally, shall we say.
Would you describe the U.S. as a good ally right now?
I think that the U.S. has always been a bit of an unreliable ally, shall we say.
Just weird. Just takes like that. So many takes like that have been someone said they don't trust Nick. I understand. So many takes like this have just made it so people don't like this guy. Like, forget about what kind of hat he wears. People don't even care about that anymore. When he looks at all of Americans and he says, you're stupid if you want to retire at 65. In fact, none of you should be able to retire. It's a dumb notion. It's like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that to every American? Why are you doing that? Why in 2020 are you attacking people for not doing the thing? Why are you doing that? That was the first thing I saw with him. I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh, hold on a second. Just bad take after bad take, and he stands in it. And the problem is with his bad takes is that it's not really his take that you're seeing. They're the talking points because the talking points given to him by, allegedly, my opinion, seems like possibly, maybe, allegedly, talking points given to him by another place, Philadelphia, perhaps. Because for someone to have these bad takes, you have PR, you have hundreds of employees. Someone has to be in PR. Someone has to be in like brand strategy. Someone has to be looking at the views and seeing what you're saying and seeing the decline. Someone has to be doing all of that. There has to be. The Daily Wire, you may not like them, but Ben's not dumb. He's not a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. So for you to be having these takes and saying these things to Americans about America, you're clearly following some kind of marching order, right? You're clearly following something. There's something going on. Because if it was just him, I think he's smart enough to be like, I'm going to talk about this instead. I'm going to touch on this instead. I'm going to stay away from the Middle East conflict for a while. I mean, say what you want about Ben. He is American. He could just go deep. I'm going to do what Matt Walsh does for a while. I'm just going to go deep into the culture war stuff. I'm not even going to bring up the Middle East. I don't have to do that. I'm an American. I can just talk about America stuff until I get that 170 views a month back. I can just keep doing that. That's what a sensible person with no marching orders would do. But if you have marching orders, as you dig yourself into a hole, you can't do anything. You turn to the people and you say, listen, I understand you're working me like a sock puppet here. I can feel it. It's fine. But can we talk about some other things? And they're like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Next thing you know, they just have you on camera. Philadelphia is better than America. Always have been. If I could throw away the Constitution and have BB be president, I would 100% do that. I think that's the best thing to do. I would love to see BB be president of the United States of America. It's not a made-up thing. He really said that. He really said that. It's just, and it's kind of sad to see at the same time. A little bit sad. I know nobody here is sad for Ben Shapiro. I get it. But it's kind of sad because he did have some great talking points in his time. He had some fantastic talking points. I'll never move away from, like, when you learn about Marxism, when you start to learn about it, what it is, the people who try to implement it in the country, it is something to talk about. And he would talk about it very eloquently. He would break it down really, really good. Really, really good. Someone said BB is president. How dare you? How dare you? No, he's not. No, he's not. He controls the president. Okay? There's a big difference. Show some respect. He is not president. He controls the president. Okay? What's the matter with you? Be respectful. Be respectful. Anyway. Another bad take from Ben here. There you go.
Honestly, I think the bigger danger when I look at young people right now is social media. Social media is a cesspool. I mean, if you spent any time on X at all over the course of the last couple of years, it is unusable, truly unusable. I mean, just a vile stream of trash. And I think that was true of TikTok as well. I mean, what do we do? I mean, I think that, you only do what you can, meaning that I don't control the algorithms. Hopefully somebody who's more responsible now will help control the algorithms. I'm glad that TikTok was taken away from China. I'm not sure how much algorithmic control is given to the new owners. That's sort of the big question. I think that, Elon should obviously boot the bots from his algorithm, because I think a lot of this is foreign bot driven, frankly. Yeah. And I think the algorithm creates extraordinary virality. Yes, there's money being used, 100%. The extraordinary virality is being driven for unknown accounts. You can see it in your recommendations. I remember at one point I actually reached out to Elon's people directly about this. So yes, I agree with you that young people are being faced with a plethora of bad information. First of all,
that's a real thing too. He really did reach out to Elon Musk to complain about how he's being treated online. Jordan Peterson did the same thing as he was employed by the Daily Wire. I do hope he gets better, but I definitely didn't like the direction he was going in while he was healthy and working for the Daily Wire. I hope he's okay. I hope the clone that they bring in is at least, feasible. Are you drunk or am I getting all... You saw that, right? Was I drunk for a second? Was I almost passing out or did I get a little... I did, right? Okay, anyway. Ben Shapiro reached out to Elon Musk's team to express concerns about the direction X is taking by amplifying anonymous accounts. Now, translate that. Anonymous accounts was actually accounts that he is deeming anonymous when they're actual people who just don't like him. That's really what it was and how they treat him online. And it's not because of the hat that he wears. It has nothing to do with the hat that he wears. It's about the bad takes that I've been showing you. That's what that was. So now he's going to Elon to not say he's concerned about the direction, but to say, hey, can we stop this? Hey, the Biden administration had this link to the Bureau, and the Bureau was kind of just telling them which accounts to ban just based on the things they said. Can we start something like that? I know I was against that during the Biden administration, but now it's kind of coming at me. So I'm hoping that we could get something in place. And just so you know, Jordan Peterson was right along with that. Jordan Peterson was like, hey, these people are psychos and they should have to give their ID to be online. That's what we need because they're nuts. They're crazy people. He's like, I've done the research and these people are crazy. They're in it for the lulz. He's like, people who are in it for the lulz are psychopaths. They need to give their ID. I was like, wow. I'm like, so far how he's fallen. It was sad. It was very sad. Now, of course, in response to Candace Owens celebrating what's happened to Ben Shapiro, we, of course, have this happening now. Lionel says, the depths of depression have never been this deep. I'm going to be on Lionel's show today, just so you know. 8 p.m. EST. I will be on there with Lionel. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I'm trying to get my questions together. In fact, if you have a question for Lionel, let me know because it's his interview, but I am going to ask questions. I am like that. I do, I go with the flow, but I'm going to try and weave in some questions because I think there's a bunch for him, and anytime people have him on their shows, they talk to him about legal stuff, but I want to know more. I want to know way more about Lionel. Anyway, this was the clip that they recently played. Candace is a Russian agent, so don't worry about Ben Shapiro.
A Russian intelligence operative who runs influence campaigns. His name is Alexander Dugin, who is sanctioned by the U.S. government because of his influence operations, who has said that his strategy is to stir up hatred and discord within the United States, so that if you have a disagreement with someone, that's the type of hateful sentiment that follows. You can't just have a disagreement. No, it always has to be war, war, war. And so that America starts to rip itself apart. And guess what? That Russian intelligence agent interacts with Candace Owens. And Candace Owens also has another advisor and close friend, John Mappin, who is closely associated with Alexander Dugin, that Russian intelligence operative. And he's also connected to the Church of Scientology. A Russian intelligence.
Someone said Lionel will never let me ask him questions. Oh, we'll see. I'm gonna ask him a question. It's gonna happen. I'm just saying, if we talk for more than an hour, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We'll see. We'll see. Now, you guys don't know where I started in this whole thing is interviews. The thing I want to be more than anything. I love being a comedian. I love doing this whole thing, but I am immersed in interviewing. I always have been. We'll see. I make time go fuzzy. It's an old CIA trick. We make time go fuzzy I'm kidding. So Candace Owens is a Russian agent. Just so you know. There you go. Candace lawsuit. I will ask Lionel about that. I will. Thank you for whoever wrote that. So Candace is a Russian agent. It's been confirmed because, as Candace notes here, she has retweeted the person they're talking about 3 times. So that's enough. And she even says, and that was enough to make me a Russian agent. This Cold War propaganda. Russia is a strong Christian nation with a deep history. They intentionally keep Christians divided while encouraging us to support nations that spit on us. What nation could she be talking about? I will visit St. Petersburg, repair the schisms. I think that's what she says. There's the schisms, and support Christians worldwide. There you go. There you go. So she's not falling for it, obviously. I don't think anybody's falling for that anymore. I mean, I don't know what kind of boomer you have to be. Oh, I switched to the wrong thing. I don't know what boomer you have to be to buy this whole thing of like, oh, well, you know, and the thing is, she communicates with this Russian agent and this guy, you know, I always talk about this guy. Looks like he was made in a test tube. And, you know, he, like, you know, just looks like a straight up clone. Just looks like he was made with just someone else's DNA and they just grew him, you know. He just sits there and he goes, wow. It's like, come on, man. Same guy that weeks ago was caught just posting things without knowing what he was posting at all. Same guy. Has the same type of Dom setup. You know, we call out Dom quite a bit for the breaking. Go follow this guy on Instagram. Same stuff. Breaking. That's all it is now. I doubt he even runs his social media accounts anymore. Anyway. Test tube dude checks out. Yeah. What can you do? You know? Call it like I see it. What could I say? Anyway, so that is what is going on right now with the Daily Wire. And couldn't happen to a better guy, I would say. Ben Shapiro deserves it. But I don't think all the people who worked at the Daily Wire deserved it. I think that sucks 100%. I don't think that's a good thing at all. I think that's a terrible thing, you know, to have 60%, 50%, whatever it is, of the workforce just gone, and now they're all just looking for jobs. That sucks. That's a hard thing to go through. Hopefully they all bounce back. You know, at the end of the day, like Candace said, they had my opinion, I think they had a Ben Shapiro problem. And I think they have maybe a fighting of change. It seems like they're more ready to react when Candace says something about them than they are to when their ratings and their views are actually dipping. Like, to that, they don't have a response. But to Candace, they're like, okay, fire up her accounts and let's make this video with a turning tape and don't mess with small horses and all that stuff. It's like they're so quick to respond to beef, to drama, to Candace, but very slow to react to the things that actually move their bottom line, which is really weird. Really, really weird. And I guess it's because, you know, Ben will say that he's not at the helm. He'll say, I don't have control of firing people, et cetera, but he actually does. I mean, at the end of the day, he can reach down and be like, hey, listen, I know I don't have control to fire anybody, but you have to fire this person. Like, get out of here. You know, I want to do this. I want to call her the R word at AMFest. I want to do it on my show. And say what you want. I think he has enough control to say, I want you to talk about this, Matt. I think you should be addressing this. I think you should be addressing her. Do you think what's going on with Erica is horrible? Oh, you do? Get back to work, Matt Walsh. Make a video about it right now. I think he does have that. I think he has that power within the Daily Wire. Anyway, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. The man himself. Back at it. Ian Carroll. So happy to see Ian Carroll back. Absolutely amazing that Ian Carroll is back. I'm very, very happy about it. I have to say, he is amazing. And the way he came back, like he never left, was epic. Just epic. Came back. He was just like, you know what? I just feel like coming back and just talking about a secret ballroom secret bunker underneath the White House that could compromise American security for decades to come. You know, he could have just came back with like, hey guys, this is what's been going on. He could have made a 15-minute video. He was like, nah, let's do 3 hours. Let's talk about all sorts of stuff. Let's get into it. I mean, just from being sick to going max out of nowhere, you know, we'll see. We'll see if he keeps on making stuff, but he did come back. Someone said came back like a cold sore. How dare you? How dare you? Don't talk about Ian like that. He came back like Wolverine. This is how Wolverine comes back. You know, when the X-Men are like, and something's about to fall on Storm. Candace Owens is Storm for sure. Something's about to fall on Storm, and then all of a sudden, shing, he just cuts one of those big robots that attack the X-Men. It falls apart, and he just goes, "You okay?" And she's like, "Logan, you're back." And he's like, "Yeah." Anyway, let's get into it. This is him talking about why he was gone for so long. He is like Wolverine, from the hair, the mustache, everything. He's like Wolverine, I'm telling you.
To sort of keep my circle really small. As you guys know, my cousin Mia still works with me. She is the person who actually helped me upload my first video onto YouTube. She filmed me. If you can find that video on this channel. And as you know, she's still rolling with me today. She was the one I took with me to see Erica because of vibes. And so I feel like I went into politics just with the right attitude and not impressed by a lot of the things that other people were impressed by. You know, I knew the importance of family. And again, how quickly everything could be stripped away from you. All I wanted was my health. And I was just so grateful to be able to think again. So to Trump, there you go. To you directly, I guess it's important for you to know that you have no power over me and my life. I chose to share that picture. That's why you have it. That's why you could have somebody put that on an AI cover. I made a decision to share that with the public because it was the lowest moment of my life. And I do not want people digging through to find that and to try to embarrass me. I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm proud of who it made me into today. People get sick, okay? In fact, there are people who email us daily about their chronic illnesses and tell me how much this podcast helps them get through the day. People who are going through surgery, people who are going through cancer, and similarly are wearing bandanas and have no hair, who enjoy listening to this podcast. It gives them a laugh, and that's okay. Okay. Who cares what you look like? Okay, you have low moments, you get through them. And I will say that never, when I went through that, into people who are sick and going through things, never could I have imagined that my lowest moment would one day become President Trump's lowest moment. I do feel like to Trump, he's just repeatedly humiliating himself over and over again. And he can continue to do that in front of the world. I will say real power never has to name itself. I am MAGA. I built MAGA. I am loved 100% by the people. Just look at these polls. It's like, come on, old boy. Who are you fooling? You know, you weren't even worth replying to until I could make time for it. You weren't even worth interrupting my holiday in Italy to address. Okay.
Huge shout out to everything Candace has been doing forever, always. But I play this clip because I was just watching it the other day and it hit me very hard because I am sick and I have been sick, and that's where I've been. I have a chronic health condition that is physical in nature. It's not mental in nature, but it came back with a serious vengeance in the last several months. And so I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Internet doesn't need to know, but it I just saw in the chat though someone said dementia, and that made me laugh. But yeah, amen, Candace. Yeah. When you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and health is all that matters. And there's nothing quite like that can humble you and give you perspective and bring you back around to what really matters. And Candace talks about how when she went through hard health, she had a bit of an awakening about her looks, about what matters with appearance, which you might say is sort of a feminine journey through the ego. And I get to have that journey through more of a masculine version of the ego. And when my health started to decline, my first reaction was, do you care more about this job and your fame and all the whatever the fuck this stuff is, or do you care more about health? And the answer is easy and obvious. And every time, health is wealth. Health is everything. And so that's why I dropped off the face of the earth to move, get into a better place where I can take good care of myself and take the steps to heal myself. So it's still ongoing. It'll be a long process. Be a lot of work. Yeah, you can hear Gigi squeaking, right? But no, I did not get the call. No, my SPLC funding did not dry up. It's still good. Still lots of SPLC money coming in every day. We're good. That's how Gigi's eating organic chicken every night. But that's where I've been. But now that I'm relocated and chilling and have diet and everything locked in, May 1st felt like a great time to come back and talk about secret underground bunkers and this wild story that has evolved from a totally legit shooting, a totally real shooting.
It was very real. It's very real. Everybody knows that. It's very real. It's very real. You know, I'm just saying it really happened. You know, it really happened. Okay. I won't hear anything to the counter. Okay. But that was Ian. That's where he's been sick, as he's saying, chronic health issue. Doesn't want to get into it, but it takes its toll. I would imagine. I've had health issues. My father passed away from health issues, chronic health issues as well. You know, it just it takes a lot out of you. You know, even I'm dealing with that right now. My baby had this acne that looked like an infection, and I was just tripping out. And my mind goes to the worst places, and all you just want is like the best thing. You know, in the smallest version of that is you know, when your nose is plugged, your nose is stuffed up. You're like, oh man, what I would give to just be able to breathe again. You're like, oh man, I never cared when I was breathing out of my nose. I was like, oh my God. And then it goes away, and it's like, you're like, oh my, this is crazy. I can't breathe. Ian doesn't want to talk about what it actually is. So many people are asking what it is. When he wants to talk about what it is, I'm sure he will. If he ever wants to raise awareness, you know, about whatever's going on, I'm sure he will. But for now, he just wanted to let everybody know the baby's good. Baby's good. It got 100 times better. You know, we're just dousing him with breast milk. You know, just breast milk after breast milk all over his face. So he's good. He's good. Getting way better. Health is everything. Health is really everything. Really is. It's crazy. It's crazy how much it can mess with you. Candace talking about that mold poisoning she had going on. Ian talking about this chronic health issue. And honestly, I've experienced both of what they've experienced, and it's wild. I'm never lucky enough to lose weight. A lot of people are commenting on Ian losing weight. I'm never lucky enough to have weight loss when I get sick. I don't know. I'm not built like that. I just gain weight in my thighs. Hey, I'm a man. Put it on my face. Why are you putting it on my hips? What are you doing? You know, I'm really upset about it. But yeah, I'm just glad he's back. I'm glad he's back. Glad he's making things. People are ruthless. People are like commenting on, you know, people just kept commenting on like the weight loss, and they're like, he's like, I've been sick. Guys, I've been dealing with that, moving. I've been sick. And then people all in the comments, you look sick. You've lost weight. Bro, does Ian know what he looks like? It's like, bro, he just said he was sick. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? He just said it. He just said it in front of 500,000 people, right? And of course, Ian takes all that time out. He comes back, 500,000 views on YouTube. I mean, the guy is a beast, an absolute beast. Incredible, man. Oh, people saying, oh, I can't gain weight. I'm very sad for you. I'm super sad for you. Okay. I have to lose 100 pounds. I'm super sad for you. People say probably bots. Maybe. I don't know. Because his bots usually say things that are way more threatening. Usually. Usually they talk about him retiring. They say you should retire. I've noticed. I've watched a bunch of bot attacks happen on him, and it's weird. It's usually about him retiring or them ending him. It's It's really weird. The people who are doing that are not like just regular, crap starters. I was looking for an alternative. Sugar honey iced tea starters, right? They're not those guys. It's like it's something way more coordinated when they go after him. It's weird. Coach Colin fitness channel. No. No. That's not happening. Not with me. I do not have. Listen, comedian, I got the credentials. I can handle myself with some comedic talk, okay? I can do crowd work. I can do all sorts of stuff. I got bits. Fitness? Oh, man. You might have to look to somebody else for that. Baron's actually really fit. Do you guys know that? You guys know how fit Baron is? You guys understand that? He always has the stuff. Of course I'm still working out. You crazy? My legs spazzed up last night because of how much I'm working out now. And I gotta send photos to this personal trainer. Oh my God, it's degrading. When you look bad, or when you feel like you look bad and you have to send photos to someone, oh my gosh, it feels terrible. Everyone keeps saying Ian has Crohn's. You don't know that he has Crohn's. You have no idea. I mean, until he tells you, you don't really know. Baron does CrossFit. Yeah, he does. He does CrossFit. He's in really good shape. Anyways, let's get to zinc magnesium. Believe you me, I'm taking all the zinc and magnesium, I'm taking all that. Trust me. I'm good with supplements and stuff, but geez, it's a hard go. I lost weight when I was in my teens. Like water. Oh my gosh. You try to lose weight in your 40s? Oh my God. It's crazy. If you're in your 20s right now, do not get out of shape. Just keep working out. Just do it. Do it like it's like you've been sentenced to a life of exercise. Just do it. Because if you have to do it when you're 40, you might not make it out alive. Oh my goodness. You have no idea, man. Anyway, let's get into more Ian here. Jump over to the next clip. He is talking about the ballroom. If you watch the whole episode, someone said you can't lose weight after 40. Don't say that to me. How dare you? Anyway, Ian's talking about the ballroom, and he's making some pretty good points. There is one point where he says something. About a Philadelphian PDF ring, right? But he doesn't say PDF because it's Ian. He doesn't play that type of stuff. So I'm gonna try and bleep that out. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to bleep it out. Anyway, show me your knuckles. No, I'm not doing that. People were saying that on Ian's live too. The longest time they're like, show us your hands, because they thought he was AI. Like that's what he's gonna make an AI version of himself. What do you think's going on? Come on. Anyway, let's go. Let's get here.
Military. It's like not even a hard thing to figure out, right? So they enact this project in secret at first. It was all a secret at first. And then the lawsuit happens. It comes out that actually they are building a lot more than just a ballroom when they're doing this whole thing. It all starts to come out in these lawsuits, and Trump gets super pissed. And they start to admit that, like, yeah, we're building a ballroom, and yeah, we are also building a bunch of secret underground military stuff, and it's classified. Okay, it's classified. They have not yet disclosed for themselves that it's a bunch of data centers too. They're just saying it's classified military stuff. But all the journalists have put together enough pieces by now that it's fucking a data center. And one of the, there's lots of ways that you can put that together for yourself. But one of the ways that you can kind of put two and two together, if you have at least a little bit of brain cells, is look at the donors list. The donors list is a who's who of not just data center and tech companies, also construction and military and all sorts of stuff. It's not ballroom people, that's for sure. It's Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Palantir, Microsoft, NVIDIA, HP, Micron Technology, Booz Allen Hamilton, T-Mobile, and Comcast. They're all big donors to the ballroom. The defense industry, Lockheed Martin. I just learned today that Caterpillar is Israel's #1 supplier of heavy equipment. That was great to know. It's a bunch of crypto companies, and then it's a bunch of wealthy private donors like the Adelson Family Foundation and Stephen A. Schwartzman, founder of Blackstone, the Lutnick family, the Perlmutter family, right? Okay. So, let's just say we don't know, but we know that they're building a data center underneath there. And they're building the data center to house the architecture of the American digital gulag. Okay?
Now that's a good term. That right there, the American digital gulag. That is a great term. And this is the part that I wasn't thinking of as I was covering it. I was finding the donors for you guys and talking about, I was playing Dre. She was talking about a data center and, even some people in the audience, even before Dre even made that video. And I would talk about the ballroom. They were talking about data centers. So people have been onto this for a while, but I never thought of the American digital gulag. He gets deeper into that term and what that means, what that could all look like. It's not just social credit. And then I'm going to play a clip. I forgot to even get this clip. I'm going to have to get the clip, but then there's a clip I have to play for you, which kind of verifies what he's talking about. Because one of the people that's involved with the donating to the ballroom, probably because he likes to dance, says something absolutely wild. So here.
I don't think that any of you, like me, are going to agree that that's a good thing. I don't think any of us want to live in the digital gulag. We don't want the digital mass surveillance. We don't want Palantir spying on us all the time. We don't want them compiling massive fucking files on every American with everything we've ever done, said, smelled, touched, tasted. I don't think most people understand, with AI coming the way it is, just how much you are exposed.
Yep. Yeah.
Every traffic camera, every scanner, every touchpad. And that's just the stuff that exists today. Just wait until glass can see you, and wait until Wi-Fi can trace you and read your heartbeat. Oh, wait, that already works. Just wait. All the technology that's coming to track and sense and surveil and record you and put it all into a nice database where then AI can analyze it all. And let's just say don't get out of line. Let's just say that don't fucking get out of line, bud. Because it will not go so well. It won't go so well. Okay. And they'll have a whole explanation for why we have to do it. It's for safety. It's for security. It's for terrorism. It's for whatever it is. Oh my gosh, the cyber pandemic that happened was so catastrophic. The only solution is a digital ID so we know who's on the internet.
Didn't I just say Jordan Peterson was talking about that? It's exactly what Jordan Peterson was talking about. He was saying that needs to happen. And if you go into X, if you happen to be on X, you'll notice that for some reason, when you go onto X and you go into the options, there is an option for you to verify. And this is if you're not even a creator, you're not even monetized. There is an option for you to verify your ID. So you can become a verified user. Not just a check mark, but a verified user. It's actually separate from what the check mark is. I have a check mark. I don't have a check mark because they verified my ID or anything. Become a verified user. Now, you would ask, why are they doing something like that? Well, maybe it's because of what's to come. I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't say for sure. But I've always found that very weird. And it's been there for the past 3 years. Before Elon, Elon's, I think he's had possession of it for at least 3 years. But I think even before he had it, they had this option for you to become a verified user.
Oh my gosh. the AI hacking cyber pandemic. No regular citizens allowed to use AI anymore. It's government regulated now. You can't use your own AIs. It's too dangerous for regular people to have such vast power in their hands. Whatever it is, okay? It's not good. I don't think I need to convince any of you of that. That's not even my number one concern. We are just warming up. I think we're 2 hours into this. Here is my concern. Do I have a visual aid here? I think I do have a bit of a visual aid. It's a lot of sources. Okay. I just want to, boom. Okay. We'll get to the visual aid in a second. I want to drink water. How are we doing, guys? It's been a while. I think I'm remembering how to do this job relatively well. I think it's coming back. I wasn't really sure if we hit a roll tonight. But I just came up for air. We've been going for 2 hours, and I don't exactly know what I've said yet. But hopefully it's all been kosher. So here's my concern. And I'm honestly, I might make a more concrete video that sort of puts the sources all together. But in this right now, I actually would rather frame this as this is just a theory. This is just a concern. This is.
Oh, I should be showing you the clip. I forgot. I have to show you the clip that kind of verifies what he's talking about here. I should show that to you guys really quick. Hopefully I can find it just on the fly like this, because I forgot to pull it up. Scrambling. I had to make sure I wasn't getting the prayers in like I usually do with the wife. So I had to make sure we just got that in. People on their best behavior. Come on. Come on. Let's see it. Somebody has to have this clip. Somebody has to have seen this clip and thought to themselves, this is crazy. Did I spell his name correctly? I had to spell his name correctly. This is a clip of Larry Ellison, and he's talking about what can be done if we have AI implemented to the extent that they are now trying to implement it. And I think his involvement in this and his involvement in the panel of science and technology, which dictates how America moves forward when it comes to AI. This clip is of Larry Ellison, and he's talking about people being on their best behavior. That's what he's talking about in this clip. And I'm trying to just find it really quick. This has to be it. This has to be it. Yep. Yep. Here it is. Check this out. Let's see here. Let me throw it in. Throw it in the Ian section here. So this is him talking about it. Crazy. Crazy. Now keep in mind, and I have to do a series about this. Keep in mind, this guy is currently involved in something. Look it up. The Science and Technology Panel. It's a panel of 13 people. He's one of them. Mark Zuckerberg's another one. The same type of people you see donating to the ballroom are the same type of people who are on this this board. And they are giving recommendations on what should be done in regards to AI. Now that coupled along with the executive order that's been signed, that state to state level decisions when it comes to AI data centers is not up to the states anymore. It's only going to be decided by federal, which means that this panel actually is giving recommendations directly to how data centers and AI will be used throughout America. Anyway, let's jump in here.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording, watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. All right, I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times.
So that is one of the people that is on this board that I've been talking about. Not enough people are talking about this board. I don't think anybody even knows that it came to be. There was no press conference about this board. There's no people like you to make decisions about this board and who should be on it. This is one of the guys on it. This is how he feels things should be going. As you can see here, I'll mute him talking, but as you can see here, he's showing you examples of what it could look like, how it's scanning all these people. It is scanning their faces. It is scanning everything about them at all times, right? This is where Ian goes into glass seeing you. So, right, a glass door would be able to see you and have this on the other side of it for anybody that's watching, right? This is a big thing that is happening in the East, a huge thing that's happening in the East. They have a lot of this going on where they can see a face and they understand that. And it gets to the point even, and I'm not making this up, it gets to the point where if you owe money, if you're in Shanghai, let's say you live there, you're a resident, you grew up there. If you owe the gov money and your friend calls you, your call will be intercepted and you will receive a message that says, please remind your friend that they owe X amount of dollars. Please remind your friend that they owe X amount of dollars. And then it will hang up. And then you will get put through to your friend. And then your friend will be like, hey, just so you know, you owe X amount of dollars. That is a real thing. That is a real thing. That is actual. So yeah, shout out to the person who shared this. Who is this? Phoenix Dragon. I'll give you a follow just based on that alone. Beautiful. So we're almost done worrying about Bill Gates. This guy's way more of a worry. I mean,
another place that India leads, but there's a lot more that all of you can be involved in driving forward, is this digital public infrastructure. You know, no country is more able to take government benefits and get them out efficiently and effectively to their citizens than India. You know, you would have expected rich countries or others to do that, but in fact, they did not. And so that basic structure that starts with identity and bank accounts and payments is just foundational. And as part of this visit, I'm now seeing how that foundation is being built out in agriculture with profiles of farmers to understand what they need and give them advice, built out with health records so that we can help people not only with infectious diseases, but the challenge that's coming in the future.
Oh, man. Hey, what's coming in the future? Hands behind your back, sir. Sir, please. No, let's not make this a thing. Just, you said something's coming in the future. Just hands behind your back. We're just going to talk it out, okay? Like what? What do you mean? What's coming in the future? How would you know? You're not able to know that. Hands behind your back, sir. Please. Oh man, can't wait for this guy. This guy's gonna be Bill. Bill's gonna be speaking in front of, I think it's Congress. He's gonna be speaking in front of Congress June 10th, I believe. Pretty sure that's what I heard. So definitely be listening to that. Although what are the odds something's going to happen to him? So just Ian talking about that thing, that digital gulag of sorts, that is the same thing that was trying to be ushered in by, have you ever heard of it? It's called the Restrict Act. You ever heard of the Restrict Act? Sometimes they'll propose things and they seem absolutely ridiculous. And this is something you can look up. This is not, this is not like only Ian can look this stuff up. You can look this up. It's not letting me get more tabs. I got to close tabs to get tabs. Of course it's doing that to me. Here, let me close some tabs here. You can look it up. It's been proposed. Restrict Act. You ever heard of this? I used to talk about it a lot I used to talk about it quite a bit when I first started this podcast. I would talk about it a lot because I thought it was going to go through. And you can look this up, right? This is for you. This is literally for you. You can look this up. You can look up the Restrict Act, XS 686 Restrict Act. Go ahead and look it up. Sponsored by Senator Warren, Mark Warren, the committee. You know who co-sponsored it? Lindsey Graham, right? You can look at it, see how far along it is, see if anything happens, if it gets any traction. Co-sponsors here. You can see who co-sponsored it. Maybe it's someone from your state that you don't like. You don't like that they co-sponsored it. Maybe you want to ask them why, right? Thune, Baldwin, what is that? Fisher, Joe Mackin, Morin, Bennett, Sullivan, Gilbert, Susan Collins, Romney, of course, right? There's a whole bunch of them that have co-sponsored this. Go read it. Go read what it is. Go read what it does. Check it out. It's very interesting stuff. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that very interesting stuff. And I think it kind of links to what Ian's talking about in regards to that gulag of sorts. Helps that along. And like he said, it's for safety. That's all it's for. It's just for safety. Look that up. Here. Hold on a second. Where'd it go? Here. Right? There. Let me just pull that back up there. Right? That's congress.gov. Just type in congress.gov Restrict Act. Just type that in and see what it is. You should know. Here, I'll throw it in the chat. Check it out. That's what it's called. Right here. That's the website. There it is. Check it out. Just saying. It's for you to know. Right? Anyway, let's move on. You got to get into a dark place when you start covering Ian stuff. You get into a real dark place when you start covering. Ian came back just bright as a daisy. Just came back. I've been sick. There's an underground data center happening, and it's something that the entire world should worry about. And here's why. And you're like, I'm glad he's back, but I'm terrified. I'm terrified. He shouted me out like 3 times in that episode. Respect to Ian, as always. Absolutely incredible guy. So we are all pulling for you, my friend, and we want to see you doing better and better and better and better and better. So please make sure to take care of yourself, and hopefully we see more videos from him. Anyway, let's get into Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I don't even know. I just pulled up a bunch of clips. This guy touches on a bunch of stuff here, but let's just listen to it. I mean, this guy, Charlie looked at Tucker Carlson one time and said, "Hey, go Max." And Tucker never looked back. Tucker's like, "I'm not even sure what that means. But you know what? I'm sure as hell going to do it." Oh, he never looked back. All right, listen to this.
Believe that the baseline requirement, the ticket of admission to the conversation.
This is him admitting he was wrong.
I truly believe that the baseline requirement, the ticket of admission to the conversation, is admitting when you are wrong. And I spent 10 years defending Trump on Fox News. I'd probably do it again because on the issues, I agree with him. I never defended a single thing I didn't believe. But at this point, the consequences of this decision are so bad for the United States and for my family and your family that, like, you just have to say it out loud. Like, I'm a small reason. I don't think I moved a lot of votes, but I tried to. I told people this guy will keep us out of the next Iraq. Specifically, will keep us out of a regime change war with Iran. And here we are in the middle of a regime change war in Iran where hundreds of Americans have been wounded. Some number have been killed. They won't tell us. And that's just the opposite of what I said would happen. So I'm sorry.
So I hear you say that, but I am compelled to question it a little bit, because are you simply just going public about something that you felt privately for some time? Because in 2021, through the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News, some of your texts went public.
Right.
And I'm just quoting from a couple of them. You know, you said there really isn't an upside to Trump. You said, I hate him passionately. I mean, clearly you had some feelings of reservation about the president.
Without question.
Before this time.
There's no doubt.
So I'm just trying to understand the...
You know, I have a lot of thoughts and theories about things which, you know, may or may not be rooted in reality. So I hesitate even to spring any of my theories on you because, like, they're probably insane. But one thing that has bothered me for many years is the fact that a lot of people in Trump's immediate orbit have been hurt and really hurt, you know, gone to prison, become unemployable, publicly shamed, gotten cancer. And I just am a believer in, like, big picture assessments of things. And, you know, so you're trying to think, like, is Trump good or bad? Like, he's saying things I really agree with, but then people around him are getting hurt. Is the country actually getting better? I don't know. It's hard to know because to some extent your vision is obscured by the intensity of some of these debates. Mine is easily obscured by that intensity. But did I have reservations about Trump? Of course. And, you know, to some extent, I sublimated them or rationalized them away or focused on areas where I agreed with him. All my fault. But I told myself, and I, to some extent, still believe, like, it's the big decisions that matter. And I knew, because I know the Democratic leadership really well, that they're completely under the control of the same forces, and that we would get a regime change war inevitably in Iran if they were elected. And so I told myself, Trump is the way to avoid the really bad thing.
There you go. Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not all, but, you know, just touching on that, you know, it's very, very interesting that that he is willing to admit that he was wrong in such a very public way, in a New York Times interview, no less, willing to say, you know, I thought I was doing the right thing and I wasn't. And this is not the first time he's done that. When it came to it, the reason he mentioned Iraq is because he was hoodwinked there as well. He thought what he was doing was good until he actually was there and he learned more. And then he was like, oh, I can't believe I've done this. I can't believe I've swayed people. And it's happened once again. He feels, you know, he says, is the country getting better? Well, I mean, you know, the border is tighter. You can say that much, you know, that's undeniable. The numbers are there for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, I would say yes. But then it's also, I think a good marker of it is how are people feeling when they go to the grocery store? How are people feeling when they go to the gas station? And how are people feeling in general? I think that's a big indicator as well. You know, one thing I remember is Don Lemon talking to this guy on the street, and the guy, it's during, you know, previous administration, and the guy's like, you know, things are bad. Like, I don't like the way things are, and I don't, you know, the money's not good, and inflation, and he's talking, and the guy's talking about what he's actually going through. And Don Lemon's like, can I tell you why you're wrong? And the guy's like, I'm talking about me. He's like, you don't even know me. How are you telling me I'm wrong? So I definitely can't tell anybody that they're wrong. it is very much in the hands of the people going through it in the economy. Do they feel like things are getting better? Do they feel good about everything? If they don't, it's an indication. You can't have millions of people say, I don't feel like things are getting better, and then turn to all of them and say, well, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong about that. So I'm not going to do that. I would love to know what people think, though. Let's, you know what I find very weird also? Out of all the New York Times people that you could find, he finds the one that pushes back on everything. You would think most of what Tucker's saying in this interview is something that the New York Times would agree with or has already reported on. But yet when Tucker says it, this lady's giving him all this pushback. I guess that's the root of a good interview, because then it makes Tucker say what he actually means. But I just found that so interesting. I'm like, wow, she's really pushing back on things that the New York Times is usually right along with. So found that interesting. Let's go to the next clip.
Who do you think is more morally repulsive, Ted Cruz or
Who
Nick
do you think
Fuentes?
is more morally repulsive?
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a sitting U.S. senator who has called for the killing of people who did nothing wrong, whole populations who advocated for this war. Nick Fuentes is like a kid. He's like 26 or 70. He has no power except his words. Here you have a public official who we pay, who has actual power, who's voting for things, who's making policy decisions. And those decisions would include, in fact, they are focused on the murder of people who did nothing wrong. And yet no one thinks it's a big deal. Well, this is totally fine. I mean, if there's tape of Nick Fuentes saying we should kill people because we hate their parents, or it's okay to kill children, I would love to see the tape, because that's disgusting. And that's basically what the entire U.S. Senate does every single day, and no one notices. Nick Fuentes said something naughty that I disagreed with. He made fun of things that I don't think I would never make fun of them.
He's a white nationalist who's denied the Holocaust. What I will say,
okay,
from
but
my
is that
own
worse than killing kids?
From my understanding of my own, I was just in Germany recently, and it was such a good reminder that the Holocaust didn't start with the gassing of Jews. It started with the dehumanization of Jews. It was language that was used. And again, That is what it concerns
I couldn't agree
people.
more. And that's why when you have a U.S. senator, a member of Congress, a U.S. ambassador waving away civilian deaths as if they don't matter, that's the language of genocide, which results, and this is the lesson of the Holocaust, in genocide itself. And it has. So the lesson for me, really, watching all of this, is that this can happen in civilized countries. In all human beings, there is the capacity to ignore the evil right in front of you. And my point is, it's happening right now. And my job, to the extent I have one, I don't really have a job, but I just want to remind people that we're all capable of that, including me, and that we're watching it right now. And if you think that Nick Fuentes is a greater threat to other human beings than Ted Cruz, I would love to know how.
I can imagine people hearing this and thinking you are soft pedaling Nick Fuentes. You are apologizing
I'm
for Nick
hardly
Fuentes.
soft pedaling Nick Fuentes. I'm trying to awaken people to killing of innocents in our midst, which we are not only encouraged to ignore, but really told to ignore on pain of being denounced. And I'm just saying, no, I'm not doing that.
Man, in that clip, very masterfully, as she takes the mention of the World War II era, we'll call it, she takes that and she uses it. And he actually, in this interviewer kung fu, turns it back on her and says, yes, this is why what Ted Cruz is doing is so damaging, because he is dehumanizing with language first. And you just illustrated the point of what that turns into. Oh, masterful. Very, very masterful. I'm a little bit of an interview nerd. Tucker's clearly been doing this decades longer than this lady. He's much better at it. That's interview kung fu that he just did. Because she was like, I'm going to say this, and there's nothing he can say back to this. And Tucker said, I don't care anymore. I can say whatever I want. And he just spun it back on her so excellently. She had nothing to say back. Nothing to say back. Very, very interesting. I want to see if I can find that again.
That the Holocaust.
Hold on. They keep saying that word, man. They're gonna get me in trouble over here. Is Cruz a Mason? Is he?
Of Jews. It was language that was used. And again, that is what it concerns
I couldn't agree
people.
more. And that's why when you have a U.S. senator, a member of Congress, a U.S. ambassador waving away civilian deaths as if they don't matter, that's the language of genocide, which is the lesson of the Holocaust in genocide itself. And it has. So the lesson for me, really, watching all of this, is that this can happen in civilized countries. In all human beings, there is the capacity to ignore the evil right in front of you. And my point is, it's happening right now. And my job, to the extent I have one, I don't really have a job, but I just want to remind people that we're all capable of that, including me, and that we're watching it right now. And if you think that Nick Fuentes is a greater threat to other human beings than Ted Cruz, I would love to know how.
You know, it's a good point. I get exactly what he's saying because, Ted is in a position where he can actually make decisions. There's more clips here we're going to go through. He's in a position where he can actually impact, whereas Nick is not really. Not that much so. People say, yes, he has this base, and yes, they're fierce, and he can point them in the directions that he sees fit. And that's true, right? When you have an audience, you can do that if you decide to. I think it's a very, I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I don't think you should be wielding people. But it is something that a lot of people fear he can do. But Ted is making decisions. And not only is Ted making decisions, Ted's bought and paid for, allegedly. Now that's even more worrisome. He's bought and paid for. He's not supposed to be bought and paid for. He's supposed to be, by nature, this is not a statement that he should have to make. By nature of his position, he should be America first. That's what he should be. But when you see that interview with him and Tucker, he's not. He's really not. That is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Because he's been put in this position and Americans are thinking, because, you're in politics. What other thing would you want to do other than provide a better life for all Americans? That's why you're in it, right? And all the politicians go, yes. Yes. All the politicians are just like, what? Yeah, better life. 7,000. Yeah, I hope everybody gets a better life. Yep. Watch the gas prices. They're going to go down. 7,000. That's not good. It's not good. Let's keep on going here. So he makes a great point. Great point. Anyway, let's keep going here. More with Tucker Carlson. And this lady, I don't know who this lady is. People are asking me what this lady's affiliation is, what her political stance is. I just look at her as a New York Times interviewer. That's it. Is it a little telling by how she's pushing back? Yes, but that's what I know her as. I know her just as a New York Times interviewer. Anyway, let's keep going.
Was titled in part a warning to Christians everywhere.
Yeah.
And sort of my interpretation was that you were warning other Christians sort of not to follow a false prophet.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm warning.
And that false prophet being President Trump in this case.
And Netanyahu. There are a lot of evangelical Christians who are convinced that God wants you to support Netanyahu, which I find incomprehensible.
Christian evangelicals in this country have been a hugely important part of President Trump's coalition. Many support Israel because they believe the creation of the state of Israel fulfills biblical prophecy. They're called Christian Zionists. Would you like to see those Christians stop supporting the state of Israel the way that they do?
Of course, immediately. On many different grounds, but it's really simple. Christians can never support the murder of innocents, period. That's just a bright red line. Find the place where Jesus is like, these people are annoying, kill them all. It's not there. So where are you getting this? Now, I'm, once again, hardly a theologian, But I just don't know. And I've asked many Christian Zionist leaders who will speak to me. Now it's just like, they won't talk to me. But I certainly asked Ted Cruz this. I asked Mike Huckabee this. I tried to ask Franklin Graham, but I sincerely want to know where this is coming from. It can't all be from the book of Esther.
Well, I mean, you did have exactly this contentious interview with Ambassador Huckabee. He's the ambassador to Israel, where you talked to him about Christian Zionism from time. And in that interview, it's very interesting. I'm a former Israel-Palestine correspondent. You were pressing him on if the modern state of Israel as a homeland for the Jewish people today has legal or biblical legitimacy. You were sort of questioning him on this idea. And you went round and round on this for quite some time. And I was just wondering what you were trying to get at there.
I was trying to get at an answer, which I couldn't get, and instead was accused of hate for trying to evoke an answer to a very simple question. And the question was, on what basis are you making this claim? People whose ancestors didn't live here now occupy the land. That's very common in history, by the way. I'm not even objecting to it. What I'm objecting to is the claim that it's God's will and that Israel, because of this, has the unique right to exist. Okay, where does that right come from? Well, the right comes from the Bible. Okay, well, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I've certainly read it a lot. And I said to him, what are the borders? Because my read of Genesis is that it's a big hunk of land. That's the Middle East. Does Israel have a, because you're referring to this text as the basis of the right to have that land? And he said, fine with me. So like on many levels, theological and diplomatic, kind of a big thing to say. The White House was annoyed that he said it out loud. I was grateful that he did, because it's good to know what the terms are. And the second question I asked, which is, okay, if Israel has a right derived from this scene in Genesis, then to whom does it apply? Who are Abraham's heirs? And he said, well, the Jews. And I said, okay. And by the way, just to be clear, these are not conversations that I sought. I was never interested in this topic. Like, Israel's a country with borders and sovereignty and a seat at the UN. And it's a nation state like ours, like every country. The second you start telling me that as a Christian, I'm obligated to support the government of this country, then I have a right to ask you what you're talking about. It's that simple. So, okay, fine. I flew all the way to Israel, which I didn't want to do. And I asked him, what are you talking about? To whom does this right apply? And on what basis? Shut up, anti-Semite. Okay, now. So from my perspective.
Okay, now. Okay, now. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm writing down your question. I don't know what that is, so it'll be hard for me to ask the question like subtly, but I have no idea what that is. But anyway, let's keep going here. As he, I'm sure you guys have seen the interview with him and Mike Huckabee. It was very weird, right? It was a very weird interview that they had. For some reason, again, it was another person. Yeah, I was trying to. Someone said trying to censor the bad words. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm not quick on the draw. I used to have the Philadelphia inserts, and I just put them in there. We're live now. I can't do that, man. Can't do that. But New York Times, okay, and then he starts talking about the president a little more. Let's get into that. Is this the lady? Yeah, it is. Let me switch over here so you guys can see it. Lulu. Her name's Lulu G. Navarro. So that is who that is. Host of The Interview for New York Times and CNN, on-air contributor, former host and correspondent for NPR. Oh, okay. See, again, very weird. Very weird. Has a resume where you think she would just be like high-fiving Tucker the whole time. She'd be like, yeah, boy, that is what I'm talking about. Let's go. You think that's what she would be doing the whole time, but she's not. And honestly, I know a lot of people, you might find her insufferable, but at the same time, she is asking the questions that it's getting Tucker to speak. And that is the point of an interview. It's not exactly to agree with everything, and it's not exactly to be palatable to our ears in terms of what she has to say or her follow-up questions. But the point of it is to get Tucker to speak on certain things, which is not, it doesn't seem like the hardest thing, you know. Tucker seems like he's ready to talk. This is another clip of him talking about the president being held hostage, figuratively.
It's hard for me to believe that he just sort of organically reached this place at the end of February. He's like, oh, I think it's a good idea. He did not think it was a good idea. Shutting down a fifth of the world's oil and gas? Of all people, Trump knows that's bad.
You said he's a hostage just now. You told the BBC he's a slave to foreign interests.
Correct.
So I just want to ask you to be sort of explicit. I mean, Trump is being held hostage by whom? Or
by
who,
Benjamin
or by
Netanyahu and by his many advocates in the United States. And we know that not simply because Trump started the war on February 28th, but because he couldn't get out of it. He declares we're having a ceasefire. This was 4 weeks in. He says we're having a ceasefire and we're having these talks and they're going great. And we're going to open the strait. And Iran says, yeah, one of our conditions is Israel's got to pull back from southern Lebanon. You can't use the Iran war as a pretext for stealing more land from a sovereign country. That's not your country. Like, no. And it's not just Iran who felt that way. I think the rest of the world's like, what are you doing? I thought we were, fighting the great existential threat, Iran, and now you're taking the opportunity to take Lebanon shore the Litani River and bombing downtown Beirut. Like, what is this? Anyway, this was all very well known. And within hours of Trump announcing this, Israel publicly, in a way that was designed to get the attention of everyone, including the Iranians, starts killing civilians in Lebanon. Now, what was the point of that? Not to secure the Israeli homeland. The point of that was to end any talk of a negotiated settlement, to keep this going until Iran was destroyed and chaotic, which is the Israeli goal. I'm not attacking Israel by saying that. Their goals are different from ours. They're a different country.
Yeah, they would argue, of course, that what they are doing is neutralizing the threat that has been persistent in Lebanon through Hezbollah.
Oh, okay. But I mean, they invaded Lebanon in 1982. Okay. So that was 44 years ago. They've had a lot of experience in Lebanon. A lot. They've had a lot of time to fix Lebanon. They killed Nasrallah. They blew up Hezbollah with explosive pagers. Like, they've done a lot since October 7th in Lebanon. They chose that moment to derail the negotiations. And they've done this repeatedly. And so my perspective as an American is, look, we're the United States. We're a country of 350 million people. You are wholly dependent on us. You're a country of 9 million people with no natural resources. I'm not against you, but we're not co-equals here. But the point I'm making is Trump could not restrain Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the one person Trump could not say, hey, settle down, or we'll just defund you and your country will collapse in about 10 minutes, which is true. Israel can't defend itself without the United States, despite whatever propaganda you may have heard. So again, it's not an attack on Israel, it's an attack on American leadership for not constraining its partner in a way that helps the United States. Trump said, I want a negotiated settlement. Israel stopped the settlement. Trump refused to even criticize Netanyahu in public. Are you joking? That's slavery. That is total control of one man by another.
Wow.
And it's, that's between Trump and Bibi and God, as far as I'm concerned. But as an American, that's our president, our elected president, whose job is to protect our country and our interests and our economy. And he is looking out for Israel first. That's outrageous. And no amount of oh, you're an anti-Semite.
Man, Tucker's not playing around. Again, not very hard to get Tucker to talk about things. Tucker's wanted to talk about this for a long time. And I like monologue Tucker a lot, but I also like interview Tucker. He just kind of opens up a little bit more, whereas the monologue feels like he wrote it. It's literally his version of the opening statement, right? He stays within those confines. He's talking about that. But the interview, when he starts speaking his mind and going down different thought paths, I think it's very good. It's very good for everybody. He starts talking about also Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, Erik Kirk as well. I believe this is the clip, so we're going to be playing that. let's keep on going. And who knows what happens. Every time I see Tucker in an interview as well, you know, I always think like, this is rather presidential, you know. I always think that this is kind of presidential. Yeah, I know some people people always have this thing where it's like, this person is too smart to run for office. It's like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, you know. But we'll see. I don't think 2028. I don't think it's gonna be Tucker Massey. I don't think that, but I think at some point the night is still young. You know, he's in his 50s. You know, the last president was 124 years old. Don't forget that. So he still has loads of time. Let's get to this clip, though.
I want to stay, though, with how some of this is playing out, because as you mentioned, you were very close to Charlie Kirk before he was killed. And he started Turning Point USA, which is this very influential group among young people on the right. And you're now seeing some on the right who are questioning whether Israel had a hand in Charlie Kirk's murder. And I should say the theories that Israel was linked to Charlie's death were denied by Israel. There's no proof of that at all. And crucially, this theory has been condemned by Erik Kirk, Charlie's widow. Do you still have a relationship with Turning Point USA?
Well, I have always loved Erik Kirk. I met her when she was dating Charlie and thought so much of her. I know a lot of people at Turning Point. I was the headliner for a bunch of different Turning Point events. I haven't been asked to do it this year. Don't know if I will be. Never said a word against Turning Point. I think it's been I was their headliner for a bunch of years, so obviously I supported it. I would hate to see it hijacked by its donors to become an oracle of neoconservatism. I think it'd be pretty hard to do because its members are not for that. Young people are not for that. People of draft age are especially not for that.
I mean, when was the last time you spoke to Erik Kirk?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
By text. So my concern, and this is not about Erik Kirk or Andrew Colvett or any of those people with whom I've never had a crossword and hope never to have a crossword. But my concern more broadly is about the investigation into Charlie's murder, which was short-circuited by the FBI. And I'd like to know why. And I don't care to be screamed at for asking that question. It's a legitimate question, and we know that. I know that for a bunch of reasons. But the public knows it because Joe Kent said it out loud and explained it. He's the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. He's an ODNI. And he was told by the FBI that he could not investigate it. And as a friend of Charlie's, I'm not going to be intimidated into saying the following, which is, on what grounds would you do that? I'm not saying the guy who's been arrested didn't pull the trigger. There's been no trial.
He was obviously handed over by his father.
Do we know that? I don't know what I know because there hasn't been a trial yet. And again, it's like so many things. And it's not just Israel. It's not just Charlie Kirk. It's the existence of NATO or the way the economy is structured. Why is capital taxed at half the rate of labor? Like, that's a question that bothers me. In every case, shut up, socialist, racist, conspiracy theorist. It's like, I'm just too old for that. Why don't you answer the question? That's my job.
Do you think Turning Point's influence has waned since Charlie's death?
I haven't the faintest idea. I do think that, I agree with most Americans when I say I think this war's a disaster. It's impossible to see how it helps the United States. And, I would like to see all self-described conservative groups pressure the president, as Charlie did, to minimize the damage. And then I hope Turning Point is working on that. I don't know the answer, but I certainly hope they are. So they should. I can't say confidently Charlie would be working to do that.
Yeah, they're not working on that. Someone let Tucker know that they're not working on that. That's not what they're doing. And, honestly, some of these clips that I've posted have been posted by his brother, Buckley. And Buckley is more Candace Owens than he is Tucker Carlson in terms of how vocal he is about things. And he talks about Erica, maybe not quite like Candace does, maybe not like you would, but he does show that he has his suspicions. Not that she's involved, but that she's just odd. She's just odd, an odd character. So I don't know. But they're not working on it. Just so you know, Tucker, they're not. They're doing the opposite. But at the same time, Tucker knows that. There has to be somebody. Like, it's Tucker and Charlie were close, and we're talking about his show. We're talking about the Charlie Kirk show, where they do this, where they push for the war that Charlie was against, where they say Charlie actually did say those things on recording, but we're not showing you the video, where they say up yours. Like, if he himself is not seeing it, his brother Buckley is, and they talk every single day. So there's no way he doesn't know. So, but the whole time he has tried to stay rather diplomatic, I guess you could say. He's tried to stay, he talks about talking to Erica and all of that. So obviously, I guess he doesn't want to go off the deep end. But it's sad because he does let everybody know he hasn't been asked to come back to a Turning Point event. He does also talk about how it would be sad if they started to become like this neoconservative pushing organization, and that's what they've become. That is what they've become. So sad to see that happen. Those events were getting incredible. They were getting lit. Those Turning Point events were getting lit. I don't care what anybody has to say. They were getting crazy. Dave Smith on stage, Josh Hammer, right? Tucker, Ben Shapiro calling out Tucker, then Tucker coming on stage and calling out Ben Shapiro. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I was like, this is pretty wild. Like, everybody's just saying what they want. Steve Bannon comes on and he's like, Shapiro's a parasite and he's going to take over. He's going to try and take over Turning Point. I was like, this is very interesting. Talk about WWE. Like, they were going in. So I don't think it's going to be like that much longer. So because that last event, that's what Charlie put in place. And they could, at the very least, they were able to switch up things. Like, Ben Shapiro was actually supposed to be in the debate. The debate was supposed to be with somebody like Tucker. That was what was supposed to happen with Ben. But instead, they didn't take him away. They didn't take Tucker away, but they separated them and let one go after the other. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a debate, but it was definitely beef. But they couldn't just dismantle everything Charlie put together because that would be too obvious to all of us. But I think the next time they're just going to be like, this is what Charlie wanted. Charlie wanted Graham Allen on stage. Charlie wanted Gary. Yes, he did. Oh, of course he did. Yes, he wanted Josh Hammer to be able to give a 1-hour speech. Yes, he did. Of course, Charlie wanted BB here. Charlie loved BB. BB's calling in via satellite. Hello, BB. BB waves with 7 fingers. It's going to be that type of vibe, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they'll impress us all. Who knows? We'll get to Turning Point later. Anyway, let's throw this clip on. I feel like there's a little bit of overlap here. Let me see.
Created jobs in the past 5 years have gone to foreign born. So it's not an attack on the foreign born to say that's not really the job of the U.S. government to provide economic opportunity to the world. The job is to protect its own people.
I can tell you don't want to talk about Fuentes.
Well, I don't have what to say.
Okay,
I just think okay, he said naughty things about this, that, or the other thing. Okay.
No, well, you caused a big. I'm focusing on you. This is an interview of you.
I didn't cause anything. People got hysterical. How can you talk to this man?
I talked to people. Brought Fuentes onto your show.
I've interviewed Ted Cruz, who's calling for the murder of innocents. I don't think Fuentes is doing that.
But that conversation was pretty friendly.
You say that. I mean, whatever. Okay, I'm naughty for talking to Fuentes, but
you've been doing this for decades. I mean, I have watched you and your shows for.
Tucker's almost 60, calling himself naughty. Okay, I'm naughty. I've been naughty. It's fine. It's fine.
A very long time. And you obviously have a very savvy understanding of how to approach your interviews and how they're going to land. Why?
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well,
I don't think I'm that savvy. Maybe I'm underselling myself.
I mean, why did you want to handle it the way that you did? You started with.
Well, I've explained this a million times, but I'll explain it very crisply.
No, you started,
No, I noticed that no one
talking
wants
about
to.
his background and where he grew up. It's a different kind of interview than the one when I look at Ambassador Huckabee.
I've known Huckabee for over 30 years. Huckabee's been a public figure for over 30 years.
But
He
one was
governor
prosecutorial.
three
You were
times.
building a case. The other one was friendly. I mean, you were wrestling quite vigorously with.
If I agreed with everything Fuentes said, I would just say so. Like, there's no the effort to kind of like divine my motives when I state my motives clearly. I think I'm telling the truth.
I know, but as you have
Let me
acknowledged
just
in this
state, let me
interview,
just state my motives.
you use questions sometimes as a form
If
of.
I could just state my motives.
I have to say, I understand. Again, I'm very much an interview nerd. I love interviews. I mean, it's the first love of content creation that I've ever had. From James Lipton, if you even know who that is, Inside the Actor Studio. Oh my gosh, how in love I was with that show and still am. Rest in peace to James Lipton. One of the greatest interviewers of all time. Actually, the greatest interviewer of all time, hands down. Far better than Joe Rogan, far better than Howard Stern, far better than this lady. I mean, he was just the best. But I have to say, what they're talking about, the interview with Nick is an introduction interview. They've never sat down together. Now, like, I can use an example. Jesse on Fire, right? I sat down with Jesse on Fire. We did I think we did 3.5 hours, maybe longer, but it was an introduction because we didn't know each other. We've never sat down and talked. So we were getting to know each other, what theories we knew about UFOs. We were touching on a bunch of things. Now, if we have a second interview, we know each other more. Maybe I'll be like, hey man, let's get into this whole Charlie alive thing. Let's talk about this. Let me understand this a little bit more. Maybe I'll ask a little more probing questions towards this theory, how he stumbled onto it. I can ask different things because we know each other now. Can get into it a little more. You have to think, Tucker reveals just now with Huckabee and with Ted Cruz, I would imagine as well. He's known the guy for 30 years, right? Little quick interviews here and there all the time. Known the guy for 30 years. So you're not exactly going to sit down and be like, are you married? How many kids do you have? He's not doing that with this guy. How do you feel about this? He understands how he feels about everything. And on top of that interview that was done with Ted Cruz, with Mike Huckabee was literally a call out. Mike Huckabee's like, why don't you come down here and ask me that to my face? And Tucker's like, okay, bet I'll show up. And he did. He's like, I'm at the airport. Where you at? Like a day later. So it was a different kind of interview. It started on confrontation, right? So of course it was going to be a more confrontational interview. And thank God it was, to really show who the guy was, which is very scary. Another person who's in power, who couldn't say that he's bought and paid for, couldn't say that, but I'm sure a lot of people thought it watching the interview. And then the same thing with Ted Cruz. He's known Ted Cruz for a long time. So what else is going to happen other than they're going to talk like two guys that know each other and maybe don't like each other that much, throwing jabs at each other. Ted Cruz threw some pretty hard jabs at him, accused him of some things. Tucker didn't like that. Tucker's pushing back. Ted Cruz brings up the Bible. He tells him, hey, expand on the verse that you're talking about. Ted Cruz doesn't know the verse, clearly walking in with just a talking point. Didn't think he'd get called out on it. So it makes sense. But with Nick, he kind of has to figure out who the guy is, who the kid is. Because, Tucker's like double his age. Maybe Tucker's 30 years older. I think Tucker might be 31 years older than Nick. So it's a different kind of interview. Let's figure out who this guy is. Let's figure out why he's talking about my father. Let me ask him about his father, just this whole thing, just trying to get to know the guy. Let's see where this guy's at. Then the next interview they have, it might be a little more combative because now they know each other a little more. That's how interviews go. Even this lady right now, she knows of Tucker Carlson, but they don't know each other. So she's being kind of light, she's being a little light with the whole thing. So just to touch on that, I mean, she's being a little disingenuous because I'm a guy who makes videos. Yes, I've probably watched more interviews than she has, but she runs an interview show. She understands how interviews work. When you talk to someone you've never spoken to and you talk to someone who you've spoken to for years, decades even. So just putting that out there. A little disingenuous.
And you can either believe me or not. And I've done this many times, but I'll do it once more and say, I'd never heard of Fuentes. I first heard him because he was attacking me and my family, which enraged me. I did fall for the bait. And so then I thought, well, this guy seems like, I keep hearing he's very influential. Let's have him on, hear what he has to say. So I did that. And on the question of hating Jews because they're Jews, I'm opposed. Told him that to his face. Lots of people decided that I should have taken a different tone. Okay, do your own interview with Fuentes if you want. That's okay with me. But I guess what I've come to believe, I didn't feel it was a significant interview, especially on any level, except to the extent it was used to try and make me into a Nazi, which again, I'm not, I would admit it. But what I think is interesting is the kind of moral scheme that interview revealed, which not surprisingly is childish and kind of repulsive. And by moral scheme, I mean like what the people in charge, including in journalism, think is right and wrong. So I think anyone who calls for the murder of innocents or justifies them is the lowest possible person. There's nothing worse than that, than killing kids.
Tucker makes sure to cling on to that point. He's making sure that it doesn't get away, because that tends to be what interviewers try to do. They try to kind of like make you scramble and go into the weeds where you kind of forget where you're at. He's not forgetting. So he's kind of hanging on to that really tight because he really wants her to understand that. And he really wants people to hear him saying that. So anyway, so yeah, just a very interesting back and forth that they had. I loved it myself. I thought it was incredible. There is a whole interview that you guys can check out. And what's this one? Let me see here. What's this one about? This is Project Constitution. Is this the same one? I know you guys can't see it. I know. Okay, so that's just the same video. There's a little bit of overlap. You know how it is with clips. People all start posting the same clip and everything.
She told himself this is going to be easy, but I don't think he believed that. And I should say, having spoken to him a lot in this calendar year, I detected no evidence at all of dementia, mental decline. You hear people say, well, he's gone, soft. That was not my impression at all. Trump is not well informed on a lot of topics, for sure, is proudly ignorant on a lot of topics, but he has kind of remarkable powers of insight into people and power dynamics. Like, you don't get to be president by accident. The guy's smart in the ways that matter politically. And my strong read was that he was doing this against his will. Famously, the head of the Counterterrorism Center, one of the top intel officials in the country, Joe Kent, resigned shortly after the war began and said exactly the same thing. I think this decision is connected to a series of seemingly disconnected events, all of which revolve around violence. And we need to find out more about how this happened. And he was, of course, dismissed and threatened with an FBI investigation. And no one kind of followed up on that. And again, I don't know the answer, but this was not a normal decision-making process. And my strong impression was that Trump was more a hostage than a sovereign decision maker in this.
Well, so tell me what you're getting at when you say the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, had no choice.
I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm just telling you what I observed. He seemed, and that's kind of the question. And what I'm really fascinated by is the lack of curiosity on display into how exactly this happened. What are the mechanisms by which a guy who's supposedly sovereign, in charge, granted this authority by voters, tens of millions of them, can't make a decision in the country's interest or even in his own interest? He knew, and I know he knew because I talked to him about it directly, that the potential consequences were profound and profoundly bad. The end of his presidency to start, which I think it has proven to be. He knew that. And he wasn't, this is my read, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know what's in his head, and I don't want to overstate my knowledge at all, but this is my strong perception on the basis of many conversations on this topic. He felt he had no choice. And he said to me, everything's going to be okay. Because I was getting overwrought. Don't do this. The people pushing you to do this hate you. They're your enemies. This will destroy you. This will gravely harm our country. We've got kids. I'm hoping for grandkids. Let's not go there. And he said, it's going to be all right. And he said, do you know how I know that? And I said, no. He said, because it always is. And I do think there's a kind of, Teddy Rooseveltian optimism there, but that's not really what it was. And this is my read. That was more a kind of justification from a man who feels he has no choice.
That's very interesting. We're going to move on to a little bit of breaking that somebody just shot me over here. I should actually put that in the bookmarks here really quick. But yeah, that's very odd that he got that read from the president. Very, very weird. A guy who just has no choice right now and says it's going to be all right. And, I kind of understand what he means by that. I won't act like I know the president or anything like that, but I can kind of understand what he's saying when he says that. He's like, it's always all right. Because at the end of the day, if you do say that he has no choice, if you do believe that, I'm going to pull this clip up now, or this post. If you do believe that he has no choice, well then, maybe his thinking is, whatever, it's in the Middle East. They want what they want. They always want what they want. Who cares? They'll get what they want. We'll get what we need, and everything will be fine. Maybe he is taking that thought process, and maybe he's right. I don't know. For a lot of people, doesn't feel like it for them. Doesn't feel like it right now. That might change. You never know. We're not trees, ladies and gentlemen. We're allowed to move. We're allowed to change. Let's jump into this. Candace Owens lawsuit. What's going on? There's another lawsuit. Somebody told me to look into this. Another lawsuit. How shocking. Just so everyone knows, every single one of these bizarre attacks against me and my family over the last week being perpetrated by Ben Shapiro behind the scenes in preparation for the inevitable news that the Daily Wire has mass layoffs. Okay, so there's something going on there. He blames me for what he attempted to do to me and my family, which ultimately costs him his company. It is his lawyer, which is suing me on Brian Harple's behalf from a law firm where his brother-in-law is partner. What Ben desperately wants is for me and my family to be bankrupt, which is why he has been legally harassing me for years and why he is now seeking to sue by proxy, encouraging Turning Point USA to go after me financially as well. I'm sorry, Ben, but you are powerless to destroy my family. We have everything precisely because there is an eternal joy in Christ. Oh, I like that. I like the petty high road. That's the petty high road. Like, let them know. Let them know. Just so you know, I don't know if you've ever read it, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I don't know if you've ever taken the time to actually read that, but it applies to me quite a bit. You can try and humiliate me, my husband, my father-in-law, my children, and keep us wrapped in various segments and lawsuits for the next 20 years, but you'll never tear apart what God brought together. Go ahead. God is good. I love it. We are truly happy, and that's what's driving you crazy. We encourage you to turn over every leaf and stone. Go back to my preschool days, if it pleases you. Oh, you know exactly what Candace is talking about today, boy. Oh, boy, you know what Candace is talking about today. I mean, you know exactly what she's going to be going on. What did Dank say? Don't worry, I'm going to look at that in a second, Dank. Let me keep reading this for a second. Back to my preschool days, find every enemy me and George have ever had, every drunk night out with our friends at college and beyond. Make it your life's mission to collect and publish every single photo and every mistake. What you will find at the bottom of this pursuit is worse than even a reflection of Jigsaw Loomer, because it will be a reflection of you and what you are, which is the entire world, already sees. Slither on, Ben. Candace is pissed. I don't care what anybody says. People are like, "Oh, well, Candace isn't that mad." I don't know. Oh, she's pissed. He's getting a 20-minute segment today. Your boy's calling it right now. He's getting a 20-minute segment on today's podcast when Candace goes live. 20 minutes. Check it out. See if I'm wrong. 19 minutes at the lowest. Okay. Slither on, Ben. That is crazy. I mean, the obvious joke to make about Ben is that he's short, and she's so mad. She's like, nah, I don't care how short he is. He's a snake, a garden snake. That's another short joke. Boom, boom. Oh, I'm here all week, guys. Let's check this out. So what is this? Let me see. We're heading into day 5. Obsession with George. She's now threatening to rally high-powered people to sue Anna. Oh, wow. Anna Kasparian getting through threatened to be sued. Let's go here. Candace should have probably get a restraining order now because this crazy person chains herself to the gates outside of Candace's house like she did Twitter headquarters back in 2018. And then she's just trying to get me her home address. Candace Owens is trying to get me to post her home address so she can accuse me of doxing her, not posting her home address, which would prove the vehicle from the DUI is registered to her home, which is inside the trust. I'm not posting her home address. So now Candace Owens, having young Turk friends like Anna Kasparia lie about me and accuse me of forging documents. If Anna doesn't retract, I'm going to sue her for defamation, and the records will be subpoenaed. Carfax reported the Ram 15. This is so dumb. This is all over that thing about George where they paid like $7,000 or whatever, and they like had the mugshot. Like, this is crazy. This is such a wild thing. This is why you don't want to be on crazy people's minds. I remember I've brought this up before. A Philadelphian friend of mine once said to me, he's like, there's some people, and he was talking about someone. He was like, there's some people you don't want to be on their minds. He's like, so it's good to just, you cut ties and that's it. He's like, don't be on their minds. Don't get in their face. Don't be on their minds. It's not a good thing. I always think of that when I see this type of nutty behavior. Very nutty. Carfax has a Ram 15 TRX, shows it was purchased, blah, blah, blah. Carfax goes on to say the truck was transferred, registered in Nashville, Tennessee, where George Farmer and Candace live. Additional Carfax. I mean, this girl's going into Carfax here. I mean, I don't want to hear another word about people making fun of Egyptian planes. This lady's going into Carfax. This is her big thing that's going to like ruin Candace Owens. Carfax? We'll see, I guess. I don't know. Let me see what Danks wrote here. Yeah, I found the information about Ben's brother-in-law. Elizabeth Lane got that over to Candace for us. Interesting. Yeah, the whole thing about the brother-in-law. I heard about that. I heard Project Constitution was talking about that on Friday. I forget when he sent it to me because he sends me his posts. He sent it to me. I think it was on Friday or Thursday. I read it because I couldn't read the law firm. I kept saying Dillion. Apparently it's not Dillion. I don't know. Like Dillion. I don't know. It's a D and an H. I don't know. Do it English. Anyway. But yeah. I heard about that. Let's go through some other ones. What did you say here? Let me see here. Regarding previous regarding Candace Owens' lawsuit. Where's the previous? Oh, this one. Let me see here. God bless America. Ben Shapiro's brother-in-law is on the lawsuit. Also, see, like what is this law firm? Like what it's not Dillion. What is it? Law firm is working with a registered Philadelphian foreign agent and Trump's legal hit squad. Latest upload. Big love, bro. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the info as well. I will check that out when I have a moment. But very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff, man. Very interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on there. Pretty wild. Jigsaw, ladies and gentlemen. There are some people you do not want to be on their minds because they don't have much else going on. And Laura is Jigsaw, is a perfect example of that. Doesn't have much going on and is just really focused in on Candace. I shouldn't even say that, because that's giving into like a different thought process. She's clearly doing this for a reason, and it's not just because she's nuts. You know, a lot of people, even Candace, kind of opt to the fact that she's nuts. I think potentially, could not prove it, can't say for sure, but it seems like she's being put to this task. That's what it seems like to me. She's being put to this task of doing this to Candace. That's what it seems like. Don't know for sure. That's what it seems like to me. We're already at 2 hours and 14 minutes. Oh man, there's so much more I wanted to go through. I didn't even get to go to Baron stuff. Oh man, come on. That's the thing about Baron stuff. If you miss one and then you get be a 9-hour episode if I miss one and then have to talk about both together. Oh, yesterday's and today's. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. But I know you guys will understand. We got to talk about this really quick. I've never heard of this Craig Long person before, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never heard of Craig Long before at all. I've never heard this name. I've never seen this man. But apparently, according to so many sources, he is Officer Tatum's right-hand man. Apparently, when it comes to that mountain of evidence, the person who has Officer Tatum locked in and watches him and makes sure he does not fall is Craig Long. They're close. They're real close, apparently. Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness my. What happened here, sir? Oh, no. I'm not saying this is good. 1984, 6 foot. I don't want to, hopefully there's no address or anything here. Actually, hold on a second. Let me make sure there's no address here. Let me make sure. Booking date, April 22nd. Release date, April 23rd. So he already got out. He's released. Bond eligible? No. Ready for bond? No. How? 6'4"? Nice. Solid. Good for him. We just make sure there's no his charge was a solicitation of a lady of the night. And he got in deep. Sugar honey iced tea. He got in deep with that sugar honey iced tea, ladies and gentlemen, trying to solicitate a lady of the night. Mama, they went and got Craig. Oh, baby, what happened to Craig? Craig was trying to get a little bit of that at night, trying to get someone to do something strange for a little change, mama. Oh, Lord, baby, don't tell me nothing like that. I'm sorry, mama. I just don't think he'll be at the barbecue. Oh, Lord. How's his mama doing? I don't know, mama. I heard about it. I was on the mountain of evidence. I was just looking through everything that had to do with Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk. And I heard about this on my cellular phone. I was perusing through X. And I saw this story, mama. I'm so sad, mama. Good Lord, baby. Come on down here. Let me hug you. This is quite funny. I've never seen this guy before. Never seen this guy.
We out here having a good time, man.
Okay, okay.
I'm still dressed like I'm in Florida.
Okay.
You see them pink shorts?
There you go.
They say the woke right, the left. They say, oh, Israel. Iran, we're at war. The gas prices are high. The country is in shambles. Man, there's thousands of people out here on the White House lawn enjoying the Easter roll.
Oh.
Why y'all ain't out here? Man, people love Trump. This is MAGA country out here, man. Y'all see that? Black, white, Hispanic, Iranian, Asian, Jewish. We all out here.
We all out here, man. The egg roll, y'all. Let me see something real quick. When was this egg roll? When was the I don't know when I found this house egg roll. When was this? What day? What day was this? It was on Easter, April 6th. It took place on April 6th. So 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, someone said, Mega, please. Mega, please. Mega. Just 2 weeks later, he was trying to find someone to do something strange for a little change. Allegedly. Allegedly. Not going to let you guys say this happened for sure. You don't know that. This is another bald man, as you can see right here. Has the same type of cranium that I sport when I'm not on this show. Same type of shine to it as well. Okay? Not going to let you just say this about this man. I don't know. For all we know, he was just trying to get that lady out of the life. He could have easily walked up to this lady or man, I don't know, and said, listen, you got to get out of this. We got all sorts of help. What happened to you was the woke left has you all in shambles. It's a dastardly deed that they put upon you. If you come with me, I can take you out of the life. Huh? I can bring you to the White House. That could have been what he was doing, right? I'm not going to let you guys tell me that he was trying to do some sugar honey iced tea with a lady of the night or man. I don't know. I'm not going to let you guys just put that evil on him. I don't know. Could have just been rescuing someone. You guys don't know. You don't know. Anyway, seems like a lot of people do know. There's a lot of articles about it. There's a lot of articles that have been written about it. It's kind of a lot. Arrested in Polk County in a sting. It was a sting. Let me tell you something. This is unfair. You know how unfair this is? The one night you decide, you're like, you know what, Lord, forgive me. I'm getting a little itchy. I gotta go see what's going on. I want to go see what's going on. You give in one night, and that happens to be the night that there's a sting? Come on. Oh, I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, are you for real? Yeah, no, I know. Seriously? Out of all the nights you guys chose to do this, are you for real? I can't believe this. Yeah, I'll watch my head. This is crazy. The timing is just ridiculous. Oh, I'd be so vexed. I hope he's not married, you know? Anyway, what can you do? What can you do, man? It said among 266 arrests in a Lady of the Night sting in Polk County, Florida, alongside Ryan Yates, Sheriff Grady Judd announced the arrests were later. My God. Oh, related to Ladies of the Night, rush hour traffic, and little people. Oh my gosh. Good God. That's crazy. Can't put that all on him. That's crazy. For those words to be above your head like this, that's not fair. That's not fair. Come on, man. Come on. We're already bald. You're going to do stuff like that to us? Oh my gosh. You know? We made a total of 266 arrests, about 240 of them. Oh my goodness. Here, I'm just gonna let this guy say it. Here, I got a better video of it. I think it's better. Let's see. Yeah, this is a better video.
He's an influencer. He also owns Craig Long Fitness.
And they call him out. I just read there was 266 people. And they just focus on him. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. How did they know? He must have told them. He must have been like, hey, y'all, I'm an influencer. Hey, come on now. I'm an influencer. I got a lot of people online. If this is wrongful, I'm going to tell all my followers. He must have said something. For this guy to, someone said he is married. Man, oh gosh. And the mugshot up there? This is Officer Tatum's guy. There's no way Officer Tatum's gonna be like, listen, y'all. You listen, y'all. Okay, Mama, quiet down. Listen, y'all. I don't know that Craig man. I ain't never sit with that Craig man but 2 times, and I didn't even know him back then. I never sit with this Craig. I don't even know that man. I don't know that man. I don't know that man from the noonday. I never seen that man. I seen that man maybe twice in my life. That man don't have nothing to do with me. You don't have nothing to do with Officer Tatum. Mama, how long I know Craig for? About 4 years, baby. No, mama, I ain't know him that long. I met him 4 years ago, 2 times. That's it. Just 2 times. Oh yeah, he's not taking up for this guy. You're not going to see that in the next Officer Tatum. No, no way you're seeing him address this in the next Officer Tatum episode. There's no way.
Some of you may recognize him. He's an influencer. He also owns Craig Long Fitness in Tampa. He was seeking the services of a prostitute.
Oh my goodness.
Did I tell you that he's married? That he's got 125 followers on Instagram, 568 followers on TikTok.
Why does this guy have it out for him like this? Why does this guy dislike him so much? What did he do? Did I tell you he's married? That ain't have nothing to do with the case, man. That doesn't have to do with any part of the arrest. I'm crying. I'm crying. Did I tell you he's married? He hates this guy. Why does he hate him so much? Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Well, I'm going to give him some content for his social media today.
Wow.
He was a previous felon who straightened up. Really what we want to see in life. Now,
listen, I know I'm interrupting this a lot, but you got to just catch one thing that he just did. Okay. So you see that mugshot sitting there, right? Okay. Look at that mugshot. Just keep looking at it.
You want to see in life.
Look at the mugshot.
Who straightened up. Really want to give him some content for his social media
Look
today.
at the mugshot.
He was a previous.
It moved. It's a picture. I thought somebody put this on here. I thought it was just a graphic. He is on stage with the guy's mugshot. He hates him. Oh my gosh.
Felon who straightened up. Really what we want to see in life.
I'm crying.
Now he's an influencer. You know, he moves in big circles.
Oh my.
Even with the president. This is a photograph with the president and his son.
Wow.
Not long ago. Now, we like to see people who make mistakes early in life, and he had a long history straighten up. We like the fact that he likes the cops.
Oh.
Heck, he liked them so much, he got caught up in a sting and got to be up and real close with the cops.
Wow.
We asked what his attitude was. They said, oh, he had a great attitude. He appreciates law enforcement. Well, there you go. Got arrested in a human trafficking sting.
Oh my God.
Influenced that for a while.
What? What? What did he say? I can't. I gotta gather myself. I'm crying. I need tissues. This is crazy. This is real tears. This is no Erik Kirk stuff right now. This is crazy. What did he say at the end? What did he say at the end? Oh, he hates this guy. Are you kidding me?
Influenced that for a while.
What? What? Oh my God. I can't think. Oh my God. Okay. Pull it together here. Jeez. What on earth? Just one more time.
Sting. Influenced that for a while.
Oh my God. It doesn't even make sense. He doesn't even really know what an influencer is. He doesn't care. Oh my God. Influence that for a while. That's the end of this segment. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's no way Officer Tatum is addressing this. There is no way. He's not talking about none of this. Holy, influence that for a while. Hates the guy more than anybody. He didn't even he didn't even talk about anybody else. That's how much he dislikes. He hates whoever Craig Long is. He hates Craig Long. He hates him. Brought his mugshot out. Picture him with the president. Oh my gosh, he despises that guy. Whew. Oh my gosh. I didn't watch that all the way through before I brought it to you guys. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, man. Whoo-wee. That is wild. Wild. Mama. They told Craig to influence this for a while. Oh, Lord, baby. Did they really? Mama, I can't be known to be with Craig no more. When Craig come to the house, you don't answer the door no more. You tell him I'm busy on the mountain of evidence and I got too much going on. Okay, baby. All right. Anyway, that was crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Jeez. I can't believe it, man. Picture of Dan Bongino, too. But I mean, what do you expect? He's one of the guys. Like, of course he's going to have pictures with all these people. You know? Of course he's going to have pictures with Dan Bongino and the president and all this stuff. Of course he is. Like, how does he not? You know? That's part of the thing. You know, when you're one of the guys, you get pictures with all the people. That's how it works. You know? I don't know. Crazy. Look at that. Yeah. People are making sure to find that picture. I mean, come on. Is that really his fault? I don't know why Craig did that to him. Craig did that. That's Craig's fault. That's 100% Craig's fault, man. Listen, it's gone on too long. I was supposed to cover some other things. We got on too long. I didn't expect to halfway die listening to that. I did not expect that. So I'm very sorry, guys. We got to get to these supers. Holy, that was crazy. I have not laughed that hard in a long time. I want to know what their past is. I want to know what kind of confrontations they've had with each other for him to feel that way, to say all that about Craig. Craig didn't do anything to me. Craig did something to that sheriff for sure. Hi, Coach. I was rewatching Scent of a Woman this weekend. Al Pacino plays a retired colonel that worked for intelligence. There's a scene where he's recalling being stationed at Fort Huachuca. Wow, really? Huh. That's interesting. I want to check that out. Al Fort Scent. That's nuts. That's interesting. One of those little Easter eggs, you know. Directors always do that. Has become a member. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Steph, please pray for my cousin. She was deployed to the Middle East yesterday. Any and all prayers are appreciated. Hope the fam is doing well. God bless you and your family. God bless you and your family. Prayers to your cousin. Prayers that your cousin is brought back home safe and sound. Prayers that they are brought home fast. Prayers that your cousin does not have to be out there for years and years and years. And prayers that God is with them every single day, watching over their shoulder, guiding them through all the terrible situations that come with war. So sorry to hear that. Really sorry to hear that. Kiki. If Mikey was the leak, why fire all those people? Because they didn't know. Well, that's the weird thing too, right? My first reaction to you is they didn't know, but Erica knew because Candace told Erica. So why? Yeah, why get rid of all those people? Maybe because they thought, maybe because as soon as Erica figured that out, she said, Mikey, she said, Mikey, don't leak anymore. And Mikey was just like shaking his hips. He's like, I won't. Don't even worry about it. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's putting on sparkles. She's like, this is crazy. Maybe he said he wouldn't, and then maybe somebody kept leaking, and maybe they were like, okay, everybody who is watching Candace Owens on their work computers gets fired. I don't know. That's a good question. Miss Chris Vig, peace and health to everyone. Hit the like siempre. Siempre. Hit the like for I know Black Poppy. Anyway. Siempre means always. Ferguson, wow, Ben's eyebrows really took a nosedive. Oh, man. Haters will say that's AI, his eyebrows. That's what the haters will say. Dr. President became a member. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's keep going here. Ash of the Dead. I can't help but notice that the Daily Wire let Brett Cooper go after Black Friday, which is most likely their biggest sub renewal time. Ooh, interesting. They promised the Snow White movie, which never came out. Really? I didn't know the Snow White movie never came out. For those of you that don't know, they were going to make a like conservative type of Snow White. More, I guess their goal was to be more true to the original than what Disney's doing. Apparently it never came out. I didn't know that. And then they got rid of her after Black Friday. That's true, because that's when they do like the half price, and now they're doing the lifetime memberships and everything like that. That's very interesting. Lifetime memberships. That's like a good sign your company's like going down. Like really going down. Lionel talked about the possibility of Erica being fully Mortal Kombat U. Dig into that. Oh, cool. I did not know that. Beautiful. Mortal Kombat Ultra Erica. Cool. I would love to explore that with him. That would be very interesting. Thank you for that. I got acne too, coach. Can I get some of that milk? No, you cannot, Harmon Guzman. Okay, you sicko. You can't have any of it. Wouldn't work on you anyway. Ian lives life. From his story, he has been sick since high school. Rebecca Myers, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah. The thing is, don't know what it is. I have no idea what he's dealing with. You can, we can ration out that it's the same thing that you've heard about in interviews. I don't know that for a fact. So that's all I can say about it. Amy Marissa's voice, do not wait to lose weight in your 50s. It is impossible, right? Right? Oh my gosh. I could only imagine. Gifted 5 memberships. Oh, thank you, TJ Kurt. Really appreciate that. 5 of those things. Odamp. Is that Odap? Odapum? Thank you for your daily laughs. It's medicine. I have to say, God bless you and your family, Coach Colin. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Let me keep going here. Ash of the Dead. To my understanding, they've been funding data centers and large language models through implementation science. The president and Congress have had the power over IS, to my understanding, since its funding in the 2000s or in year 2000. I did not know that. I don't know about since 2000. Wouldn't be surprised though. That's for sure. Jamie. So Billy talks in front of Congress. He should be in front of a grand jury. The other nerd scared me big time. Revenge of the Nerds. Please read in Nerdland. I was laughing so much. You ever laugh so much you have phlegm after? That laugh knocked my sinuses loose. Billy talks in front of Congress, should be talking in front of a grand jury. That other nerd scared me big time. Revenge of the Nerds. There you go. Jamie, ladies and gentlemen, firecracker. Midna fire salts. Ian looks like he just came back in the DeLorean. He's been time traveling, all sorts of stuff. Who knows? Ellison started this in China post Tiananmen Square. Oracle is cloud is the military's and most healthcare's cloud backbone. He and his son own 30% of TikTok. Oracle has way too much power worldwide. Yeah, I heard about the TikTok thing, and a lot of people don't know he actually helped Elon get a lot of the money so Elon could buy X. Elon borrowed a big chunk of money against, I believe it's his Tesla stock, and that was a lot of it, but he needed more, and apparently Larry Ellison helped him out in that regard. So talk about power worldwide. A lot of the social media landscape is he has hands in it. Ash of the Dead, cell phone data collection is essential to review the process and implementation science. Since that concept, in my opinion, started in the year 2000, that really bothers me because that predates the Patriot Act. Well, again, they didn't come up with that out of nowhere, right? So your senses are correct, I think. Can you ask Lionel about what is that? Apotheos. What is that? Ever since Baron brought that up, it's made me look at things differently. I will. I'll look up what it even means, and then I'll ask him about it. Baron allegedly found Mary Ellison's link in Vegas. Mint moving, as you can see there. Rush hour. Wondering if she has connection to Lori Fronsvie and Uncle Jack. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting to know. I have no idea. I don't know if she's old enough. Well, maybe Uncle Jack, I think he's passed away. I think he passed away in 2015. So it would make sense that they would know each other. If they were close or not sure about that. To Lori, that would also make sense. I mean, if you look at the two of them, they look like they'd be friends. That's a definite possibility. That is something to think about. I wonder. That is something to think about, actually. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Let me see here. The Happy Chrissy. Coach, my husband was 350 down to 178 by eating carnivore, no sugar, no carbs. Check out Eddie Abu. Is that how you say that? Abu? Meat protein makes muscles. Congratulations on baby Mexican. Thank you. Yeah, black and white makes Mexican until they're like 6 months old. Then they become mixed. That's just science. I don't know. Yeah, of course he's down to that by going carnivore. That's how that goes. The only problem I have with that is that I really like exercise. I really like working out, and your performance will go down a little bit. Joe Rogan's been a good guinea pig of that. He talks about your performance going down a little bit in carnivore. There's been other people who have been carnivore activists or advocates, and they talk about their energy being a little lower, their strength being a little lower. Then there's one guy, I think his name's Dr. Sean. I forget what his last name is. Older guy, almost 60 years old, a few years older than Rogan, and his strength is just maintained. He's a very, very strong man, but he's also a very big man. So it's up and down, right? I mean, it's good for some people, it's not good for other people. And the only problem I see with it is, first of all, it was for your brain. That's when they first actually realized, carnivore was a thing. It's actually for, forget what thing in your brain, but it was for people with certain brain conditions. But the thing is, when you work carbs back into your system, I'm at a point where I don't want my body to completely forget what to do with carbs. I want my body to know what to do with carbs and to know what to do with fat and to know what to do with protein. I don't want it to forget what to do with any of those things. So I think I'm already finding it. I'm doing it currently. Like I'm almost down 10 pounds. Close. What are we down? 7? 7 or 8 pounds so far, close to 10. Danks, God bless. Okay, we read this already. I will check out that episode. Thank you, Danks. Previous super in regards to Candace's lawsuit. Exactly. And then, yeah, I found that information. Elizabeth Lane got that over to Candace for us. Solid. Yeah, and Candace will probably talk about it today. More than likely, I would think. Candace will definitely talk about that, I think. Definitely, for sure, I think it's a possibility, right? Simplicity, off-gridding, I believe 11 was a plot to retaliate for non-cooperation from the USA. I think the president has been threatened with another catastrophic event if he doesn't cooperate, something we can't imagine. Potentially. I mean, you know, I wouldn't know. Obviously, you're not talking to me like I would know, but yeah, I hear that theory. Definitely. You know, also people also say Butler was what you're talking about. Like it was a little bit of a little hint of like, hey, just so you know, right? There's that. There's also some things with JD Vance as well. Peter Thiel, because at first the president wasn't going to take JD. He was like, nah, I don't need that guy. Because he was a never Trumper. He said terrible things about the president before. And he just came around to him out of nowhere. It doesn't fully make sense why. Charlie Kirk had a little bit to do with it because Charlie was friends with JD, helped him when he got into Senate. And you got to think about who JD was as he became the VP, became Trump's running mate. He was like a junior senator. It wasn't like he was even established. So the only thing he really had on his record was a little bit of Congress, a little bit of a little bit of Senate, a little bit of Yale, and a bunch of terrible remarks about the president. That's all he had. It's really weird. You got to hear, you got to hear the whole breakdown of JD. You know, there's a whole breakdown that people talk about JD. Hollywood pushing logical fallacies. Yes, Star Studios. Watch Danks from Saturday night. Dillion. I'm going to call it Dillion. I don't care. I did not see that, by the way. Name 5 ethnic. You know, and Danks is actually great. I had Danks all wrong. Danks actually has helped me so much. And I had him all wrong. The first time he messaged me, I was like, who is this guy messaging me? I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why is he messaging? I don't know him. This is like months ago. I'm like, what is this guy messaging me for? Who is this guy? And then, you know, like he's helped me so much in the past few weeks. Yeah, I just had him all wrong. He's actually a great guy. He even gave me advice on what to do with the baby because, you know, the doctor just scared us more. And his wife is a nurse. So he told us what we could do. And we started doing it. And as soon as we started doing what he said, the baby got better and better. Today's like the best day. So, you know, just incredible. So thanks so much, man. I've thanked him before already, but thank you so much, man. Had you all wrong. You're a great guy. Top guy. Name 5 ethnic groups and 1. John, what is this? McDermott gifted 10 subs. Oh, thank you so much, John. We appreciate it. You slipping, Craig. Guess Philly needs to send out checks on the 1st of the month too. Yeah, definitely got caught slipping. I mean, that was crazy. Sway Diesel, Grady Judd, friend of the show. Did you see? I have to cover this tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to cover it tomorrow. Let's see under the Took coach. You can check out earlier episodes. You'll see it all day. I'm not Tim Pool. I don't hide my head. I have a perfectly shaped head. Why would I hide it? I noticed I guess it's becoming more of a thing in the Black community as well. Like back in the day, the Black community had no problem being bald because it was like Michael Jordan and all these different people. So it was like no problem. But that's like, I don't know. That's not a thing. Maybe it's just me, because I noticed there's like a lot of black guys now. They're like wearing weave, like their hair is only this long, and then they get extensions so they can have dreadlocks, which is like peak femininity in my opinion. But yeah, that's not a, I don't know. It's weird. Like the way Tim hides it, he's like with the president. He's like, hi. And it's like, bro, take off your hat. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Like, no more of this. You can't wear the hat all the time. You know? I only wear the hat on the show because if I didn't wear the hat, the headphones don't sit properly and they'd start moving around and falling everywhere. That's the main reason I wear the hat. And also my head shines. So in order to mitigate the shine that would come on camera, I just wear a hat. It's just utility on the show. But when I'm not on the show, it's like, it's my head. What do I care? I don't know. People are very weird. Some guys, I mean, you know, I guess it's sad. You know, some guys are really upset about being bald. They're really, really sad. You know, they're really upset about it. They're like, oh, I need hair. Okay, ma'am. Okay, lady, you love your hair so much. Okay. Like, you okay, man? You a lady or something? That's what I'm going to say to my son. Shave your head, man. What are you, some chick worried about your hair? That's what I'm going to say to him all the time. Influence that for a while. Yes, thanks. Amazing. Yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop. I almost went off the deep end. I almost had to get up and like take a couple steps. It was crazy. Ryan Yates. Yeah. Also arrested. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Michael Armstrong. I live near Polk County. Sheriff Grady does this daily. Does he really? He just does this to people? Man, that's crazy if that's what he does all the time. That's crazy. What a guy. Judy Bowmanart, dead. Officer Tatum and Mama. Sheriff Grady does this all the time. Always good to watch. He does this all the time. Really? What a guy. Oh, never get arrested in Polk County, obviously. My dad retired as a deputy sheriff working with Grady. He kicks butt all the time. R.I.P. Dad. R.I.P. Dad indeed. Thank you so much, Tomorrow. That's that's wild. I've never heard of this guy. Sheriff Grady is a savage. UK needs a Grady. This is wild. Everybody knows about Grady. I've never heard of this guy before. Baron Bullseye Burnett. C reality TV atrocity. Yeah, that whole thing. I wanted to talk about that when Barron's breaking down the guy who made the now president likable and made him into this more likable, digestible person. And Andrew worked with that guy. I mean, that makes sense to why Mikey McCoy is like, look deeper into this guy. That's why. That's definitely why. Jamie, look, Coach, you have to look at other videos of sheriff in Florida. They cornered a cop offer. And at the press conference, he was asked why pew him 50 times. He said, because they ran out of bullets. What? No way. No way. Are you for real? Wow. I gotta look into that guy. I had no idea. Keep up the good fight. G Sizzla. Keep up the good fight, Coach. The rest of the world depends on you and the rest of the DCIA. Did I say that right? DCIA. Okay, I said that. Sending love from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. What's the DCIA? What is that? I have no idea. I have an idea, but I have no idea. You know, I know, but I don't know, kind of thing. Let's keep going here. What's this? Did I say this one already? I must have. Yeah, the one about the dad. Is this another one? What's going on here? Oh, okay, there it is. Jen, just occurred to me, border is secure, no one is in and no one out. What if we need to get out? I trust nothing Gov does. No one worried about my safety. You can leave. I'm not kicking you out. I'm not pushing you out or anything. But you can leave. You can leave. Yeah, you can go on a trip right now. It's okay. They'll let you go for sure. You can drive into Mexico. You can drive into Canada. You'll be fine. You can fly to Europe. You'll be fine. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that is a thing, right? But you'll be okay. I'm pretty sure. Check it out, though. Check it out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll be like, no one can leave, actually. I doubt it, though. Let's get into these coffees, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go here. Let me make sure that this is boom. Let's pull these up here for real quick. Some chick online. Have you watched the TV series The Institute? If not, you totally should. It's about kids that do remote viewing and they're trapped in there. It makes me think they're trying to tell us that they know the truth about Gov and what we can do. I can't wait till season 2. Sadly, there's only 8 episodes in the first season, but they did say that season 2 should be out in 2026, or maybe that's start production. I'm not sure. Hopefully sooner than later. Not in the same note, but on the shows, OMG, please tell me you've watched from same makers of Lost, best show ever. No, I've never seen either of those shows. I think it's often people will say they, when you see these little things in shows that are really touching on reality, it's not just they, right? It's like the director, the producer, the writers, they have an insight into what's going on and they're trying to show you things. That's how I think of it sometimes. So they're trying to show you. Maybe you could say that they've been allowed to show you, but they're trying to show you something, I think. This one just came in here. Some perp shoved a thermos where the sun doesn't shine to hide substances. Grady showed the guy's x-ray pic to shame him. I think I peed. Wow, this guy. I've never heard of this guy. Everybody knows about this guy, apparently. This is crazy. I gotta look into this. This guy, he should have his own YouTube channel. Does he have his own YouTube channel if he's doing stuff like that? Wow. Mike Riley, what's going on? That boy Craig got stung like a bee. He was just paying for her hotel room. Yeah, he just wanted her to have some place to sleep. That's all. That's all, man. He just wanted her to have a place to rest her head, get away from the life for a little bit, right? She needed a warm bed and a hot shower. That's it. That's it, man. He just wanted her to have a nice bed, a nice shower, get some soap on her. Officer Tatum shaking from the top of his mountain. That sheriff cut a promo like his Monday Night Raw. I want to see him versus that sheriff from Louisiana that said he'd go to war with the gang. Oh, I remember that guy. That guy, yeah. That guy posted up like he was from Chicago O Block, had all his boys with him. They were ratcheted up and everything. It was crazy. Yeah. Mike, what's going on? The baby. What happened? You good? Everything good? You gotta tell us about the baby. On Friday, Mike was in the hospital. Everything was getting dealt with. And have the baby boy. Let us know how everything went, man. Let us know. We were praying for you guys. Kathleen Scott, Iowa girl. Follow Judge Grady. He does this daily for the latest bozo that gets arrested. Prayers for you and your family. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. This is wild. If he doesn't have his own YouTube channel, I don't even understand. This sounds like an epic YouTube channel. This sounds like it would be a really good YouTube channel. Hey, brother, let's share Jesus today. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:9. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Christ is King. Thank you very, very much. Sheriff Grady Judd does not play. Look him up. He's a celebrity around here. He does these press conferences and calls everyone out all the time. Love your show, coach. That's incredible. Such a Gupta grounded. A lot of the no pushback from the left-wing media is because their agenda has historically been about dividing the American people and supporting the greatest ally. Has it? Because I don't know. The left in the past, 5 years, they haven't been super supportive. Not super supportive. Not like the evangelicals on the right. Let's see here. The Democratic Party is largely rooted in supporting NJ Jr., the governor of New Jersey Jr. doesn't care about the issues in America, all that stuff. Independent parties were never able to make it big in politics because they actually cared about unity in America, just like past presidents, Charlie Kirk. I really pray Tucker stays safe. He's our third shot to real peace. Potentially. If he runs, I think he can do it. I really do. Mikey Riley, mama, this man's wife had a baby boy. Little man was born in the early hours of Saturday morning. There was extremely scary moments, and we had to do an emergency C-section, but he's perfectly healthy, and my wife is recovering great. God is beyond great. Thanks for all the love and support. That's a beautiful thing, man. Good for you. Good for her. Prayers to both of you. Prayers to that little boy as well, that he is developing nice and strong. I had the exact same thing with my first. The exact same thing happened with my first. Scary moment, you know. Our scary moment was my wife didn't know. I had to keep it cool for my wife because she can like see my face. But I watched the heart rate go all the way down to 43 beats a minute. And I was like, oh, and I could see that all the nurses were panicking. And then we had to do an emergency C-section as well. It was wild. Yeah. So I know that fear for sure, man. It's a scary, scary moment. Really scary. I'm glad it worked out, man. Really glad it worked out. Good for you. I know black coffee. Appreciate your work. Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate you. Just say, Julie, hey, coach, love your show. Tucker is a class act, and I agree. He is masterful. The way he validates the interviewer's claim and expands upon it, diffuses her argument. That you said it better than I did. That's exactly what he did. Tucker's authenticity is great. Christ is king indeed. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you for the membership, John. Thank you for the laughs, coach. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Glad you get to be a member out here. Very glad. Angela, what's Angela have to say? Thanks for the laughs, coach. It's been a great show as usual. Took my mind off the tiny blisters covering my scalp from dyeing my hair last night. My scalp feels like it's on fire. Must be allergic. Gotta do what I gotta do to cover the grays. That's hilarious. That's crazy. That's too much. Little blisters. God, man. I gotta tell you, man, I'm so glad I don't have hair. Because I might want to do that too. I might want to cover up some grays, you know? Let's see. The Battle of Zama. May the grace of the Lord be upon you and your family, sir. This is the best way to support. What editing software do you use? I use a bunch of different things, you know. OBS has always been the industry standard. But with shows like Baron, The Quartering, and various others, an industry standard is starting to become StreamYard. And if you have more questions, it's an Instagram group where I just shared a bunch of voice notes on how to get started and what I use and everything. So if you hit me up on Instagram, I'll throw you in that group and you can see it all. But there you go. The group has like 13 people in it. But yeah, I answer questions there. So if someone asks a question, like I'll get to it and I just answer it there. And I just put it in the voice note and just whenever somebody wants to just start a podcast, I just, throw them in that group and that's it. It just makes it easier. Otherwise, I explain it over and over and over again. Don't know what you mean. I followed Candace Owens to Daily Wire. I followed her when she left Daily Wire. She was the draw. I watched Ben Shapiro at times. However, when she left, all he did was talk about her, of course. I'd rather just watch her and get firsthand instead of his slander. I canceled when she left. Yeah, that's what a lot of people did. A lot of people did that, especially with how crazy he got. He got very crazy. I mean, he's still getting that way. Just wondering, in February of 2025, Charlie Kirk had the interview with Lizard Man, Gavin Newsom. Is it too far-fetched to think he may have had a hand in what happened to Charlie? Because Charlie would have been the biggest threat to Gavin if he was running for Pres 2028. There's no way Gavin could fairly have beaten him. Janice, in case it doesn't show my name. Thank you, Janice. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know why? And I've said this. You can find tweets where I'm like, you can never forgive Charlie for what he's done. I mean, Charlie Kirk sat down with Gavin Newsom. Now, that podcast you're talking about, that was Gavin Newsom's first podcast. That was his first episode of his podcast. I don't even know if he's doing it still. He might have shut it down. But Charlie was the first episode. Charlie sits down with him. Charlie teaches him how to use social media. After he learns how to use social media, Gavin hires a bunch of people. He starts owning Joe Rogan. He's like really going at the Prez. He all of a sudden was equipped with the same knowledge that Charlie had when it came to the younger generations. And Charlie taught him how to do it. After that interview, it was directly after that interview, Gavin knew all these things to do because Charlie was actually willing to show Gavin what he did to move the young vote the way that he did. And Gavin understood how important that was. So I don't know if he would have something to do with that, because he benefited so much from Charlie talking to him at all. So who knows? Who knows? Honestly. And honestly, Gavin is so sure of himself that I don't think he would do something like that. I think he really thinks he would be the best choice. I think he really thinks that in his head. I think he thinks nobody would beat him. Let's go here. Kai, I thoroughly enjoy your show. I value your intelligence and I appreciate your humorous delivery. Thank you very much. Let's keep going here. Shady Logos. Rumor has it they're changing the name of Turning Point USA, TP USA, to ZB USA for the Zesty Boys, Andrew and Blake. The Zesty Boys. I was listening to Tucker over the weekend, and he was talking about the effort to remove statues and names off buildings of racists versus some names staying, like the guy that bankrolled redacted Jeff, I should say. I don't want to say redacted. Anyway, he did the Tucker laugh, and it's the Lex Wexner building at Harvard. And I couldn't help but laugh thinking about Coach getting a hold of this one. That's funny. Was it in that interview where he talked about it? That would be great to know. I got to watch that interview all the way through. I only watched half of it. But I got to watch it all the way through. Great interview, by the way. Again, like you may not like that lady, but great interview. Thanks for wading through the muck of X to bring us the diamond highlights with your trademark sweetness and LOL humor. God bless you, your work, and your lovely family. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for those kind words. Truly appreciated. Casualty of media. If Bridget McCrone looks better than Candace Owens, then Jigsaw Loomer looks better than Melania Trump. And I look better than Chris Hemsworth. I agree. Since we're just throwing things out there, whatever. I look way better than him. Shirts off and everything. How crazy would it be if she did go to court with them and had Barron as her lawyer? Wild. That would be something else. Jenny K, I really enjoyed the members show with you and your wife. You two flow really well on a live show. Also, I was loving the little baby noises. Congratulations on your growing family. Yeah, the baby was stealing the show. Baby was really, really stealing the show there. We got repeats. I don't know why it repeats like this. So weird. Thanks for bringing an awesome community, Coach and Mrs. Coach. Much love and many prayers. Thanks for making me laugh in the recapping. Okay, so we're getting into the older ones now. Okay, perfect. Let's see what we have here. We have another one. Nope, that's it. That is it, guys. We are past 3 hours. Thank you guys so much for showing up, showing out. I'm sorry for the absolutely hysterical laughing I could not stop myself, even if I wanted to. I'm telling you. It's one of those things I can't even think back about, or else I'll just start laughing. My wife says I do look better than Chris Hemsworth. Oh, thank you so much, honey. Thank you. But I do have to get out of here. I got to start preparing for Lionel's interview. Also, we have to stand by for Candace going live. There's a whole bunch going on. I'll be doing Lionel's interview. I don't know if Baron is going live today, but I will be live with Lionel. I don't even know how long we're going for. I mean, I'm surprised he does it at 8 p.m. And we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Can't wait to do it. And I will make sure to ask the questions that you guys ask. All you members, really appreciate all you guys. Let me see here. We have one from 4 minutes ago. Who's this? Oh, this is Judy Bowman Art with just a link. Judy, I cannot click your link, Judy. Thank you for the clear end. Oh, another coffee. I guess the coffees just keep popping up. I'll check out a couple coffees. Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Oh, there's nothing popping up. Am I tripping out? No, nothing popped up. But I see one that just came in. It's from Chrissy. Thank you for your clear, entertaining way of rendering the truth. You saved me so much time and cognitive dissonance. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. What's going on here? Why aren't I seeing this? You don't know Sheriff Grady? That man is hysterical, not to be trifled with, and TikTok famous. I hope he has his own platform that he's making money off of. Mike Riley. Let me see here. Somebody said this is a couple minutes ago. Is this your first time seeing Judge Riley? I'm from SC, but anyone who goes to Florida knows he does not play. He does things like this all the time. He did a press conference once with all of the jewelry confiscated from a drug dealer. Holy, this is incredible. Man, thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate it. Who's this? Another one just rolled in here. Bang. Let's read that one really quick before we go. Coach, real quick, hit me with your top 3 pod mics and headphones to use. All I do is deep dive with you and crew help. See, like this is the thing. This is why I have this group. Because I would just keep explaining it all the time. So message me on Instagram and I'm going to put you in this group, but I'm also going to make a voice note for the group. Sorry guys, I'm just live right now. And somebody asked me what my top 3 pod mics are. I would say that I don't have 3. I would say I have 1, which is the microphone is Shure SM7B. That is my top one as of right now. I do not get hung up over microphones and things like that. I find what works and then I use it until it does not work. Kind of like a cell phone. I only buy a new cell phone, probably, I don't know, maybe once every 4 years. Yeah, I wouldn't get too hung up over the audio. If you have to start with what you have, never feel like you shouldn't start a podcast just because you can only afford an $80 microphone. Start with the $80, start with the Blue Yeti Snowball microphone. And then as you build up, you can get better and better things. So yeah, I don't have a top 3. I have this one that I like a lot. And when I get another one that's newer and better, that will be within the top 3 as well. But for right now, that's the microphone I use. I think it's great. I know Joe Rogan uses it. I know many people that you hear in the podcast world use this exact same microphone. So that's it. Okay. So just wanted to do that just so I don't have to explain it again. But if you get added to that group, there's more. I talk about everything that I use and what you should do. So just wanted to drop that really quick for everybody. Thank you guys so much. Did you get a chance to read my sleep paralysis story on Reddit? No, I did not get a chance to do that yet, Zombie. I did not get a chance to do that yet. In fact, you have to remind me of what that is called. I forget what you actually said the name was on there. You have to remind me of that. Please do that, and I will get to that as soon as possible. And that's something we'll do on the members. In the members, I like to make it like a the podcast The Creatures, the podcast Ninjas Are Butterflies. Like that's what we're doing with the members podcast. Me and my wife just talking about wild theories and whatnot. Anyways, guys, gotta get going. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Bye. And shout out to my wife holding it down out there. All right, guys. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And for those of you that tune into Lionel, I will see you tonight.